Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and, Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's go live on a Tuesday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Austin Ward's big idea coming up at 9:30. He gave us a little teaser of it. I've been thinking about it for much of the last day. We'll get to that coming up at 9:30. 10 o'clock, we hit you with the real truth. 10:30, Uncle Dom going to drop by, as is customary on a Tuesday. And 11 o'clock, 20 most interesting Big Ten powerhouse, Washington. The Washington Huskies, which gives us a chance to talk to fan alum Tony Castricone, who's the voice of the Huskies. He will join us at 11:30 on that side of things. We lost Ryne Sandberg last night. If you are a man or woman and you are of a certain age, as I am and Bake is, and many of you would be, there were really two choices growing up that were omnipresent if you wanted to watch baseball in the summer. And it was WGN and the Chicago Cubs, and it was Turner and the Atlanta Braves. And so they were, I don't know when the regional stuff came. I was talking to Bake before the show started, and you were saying here locally you could watch Reds games on one of the local channels when you were a kid. Reese, I asked you, when did the regionals kind of pop up in terms of where you could watch your teams in your market? It feels like late 90s-ish to me, or mid-90s-ish. Do you have a memory of when you were like, oh, my God, Eureka, I can watch every Guardians or Indians game?
I don't. To be honest, I don't remember a time before RSNs. I remember vaguely, the RSNs coming into existence, but admittedly wasn't watching a ton of baseball back then or was seeking it out other than, on the radio. So I don't remember a time where you couldn't get most of the Guardians games. And then, of course, because of the internet, you can find other ways to consume that content if you so search it.
Yeah, for sure.
Allegedly.
My hunch is it was like the mid-90s is what I think. But if you were a child of the 80s, your local teams, my guess is I didn't have local teams growing up where I did. So the only baseball that I could watch, and quite honestly, for most of middle America, the only baseball you could watch was the Cubs and the Braves. And there were two kind of matinee idols, one on each team. Dale Murphy with the Atlanta Braves and Ryne Sandberg with the Chicago Cubs. They were out of central casting. They were very easy to root for. They seemed larger than life. The broadcasters for those two specific operations beloved those two guys. And they were front and center. And they were both very, very good. Do you know, you think about what I was thinking about Fish and what this means to a Chicago native who's a Cubs fan and what Sandberg meant. I hope I'm not overstepping here and saying this, but there was, to me, my perception of it is that there was a little bit of a Bernie Kosar to Cleveland, Ryne Sandberg to Chicago. That's how big he felt to me. It felt like, from my perception, it felt like Ryne Sandberg had a 100% approval rating. It felt like he was the most popular guy in Chicago. Jordan came along, the 85 Bears, all that stuff. It was a hell of a time to grow up in Chicago. But he seemed to be on that list of completely beloved and 100% approval rating. I have at least 4 friends that I can think of off the top of my head who named their first son Ryne. At least 4 did. Of course, in tribute to him. Ends up being a Hall of Famer, lost way too young at just 65. But when I saw that last night, and again was reading about it again this morning, I just couldn't help but think about a time in America sports consumption where the vast majority of us that had basic cable, if you had basic cable, these were the two teams you could watch. And I think of my friends growing up, you're either a Dodgers fan, like I was, because of the Great Falls Dodgers and because of the Vin Scully stuff I've talked about before, or you were a Cubs fan or you were a Braves fan. There were dozens of both of those two fan groups in my friend group because of WGN and TBS. I mean, that was it. You could watch them. They were on. And my hunch is that's a story that's duplicated around the country, and that if you're a man and you're in your 40s and you were a little kid in the 80s, or even if you were in your a little bit older in the 80s, that there were, in a sense, those two teams were kind of America's teams because you could watch them. And I don't think the RSNs came in until a lot later. And so if you wanted to watch baseball in the summer, this was it. This was what you watched. And so anytime I think of that time, I think of Ryne Sandberg and I think of Dale Murphy. There's others too. Hawk was unbelievable with the Cubs, and so he was out there. And then Shawan Dunston and other guys came in the mix. But it was Sandberg with the Cubs that was the face of it. Harry Carey, of course, didn't help. If it was between the two and I had to pick one, I would always prefer the Cubs. I like Tom Skilling's weather forecast with all the arrows on it. Was always something that was in the back of my head as a kid. But certainly the Harry Carey and the Ryne Sandberg and all of it. And so when I saw of his passing at just 65, it was like opening up nostalgia 40 years in the making.
Yeah, and we talked before the show. Growing up, when I was younger, I always liked Ryne Sandberg, and it wasn't because of WGN, because we didn't have cable until I was 18. Mm-hmm. And I was a Reds fan, so I hated the Cubs, but I think it was because his name was so close to mine, and he was just so good. You know, he was just he was so good defensively. He was the best hitting second baseman at the time. And, I remember him getting diagnosed with the prostate cancer, but then I remember him being okay. And I don't remember hearing the news that it had come back, and I didn't realize that he was in this bad a shape. And they were talking about, I can't remember if it was Kirkjian or Jeff Passan, talking about how kind of somber and sad it was at the Hall of Fame this weekend, because a lot of people knew this was coming. A lot of people close to the situation knew that he was close to the end, and just very sad. Like I said, only 65 years old. And, Bo, it has been a tough couple of weeks here for guys our age. With the Hulkster and Theo Huxtable and Ozzie and now Ryne Sandberg just get kicked in the gut one time after another.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a thing. I'm with you. I didn't see that either. I just got a text from Fish. And it was so this was a little before my time. The Cubs, he said, hadn't made the playoffs since 45. So the 84 Cubs made it, and that's when the magic happened. And that's when everybody fell in love with that entire operation. And Harry Carey was obviously a very, very big part of it, but Sandberg was front and center. God, what a stretch.
That was his MVP season too, correct? 84?
I believe that's right. Yeah. I pulled up, I want to pull up his baseball reference to get a feel for it. Yeah, I believe that's right. 80. Yeah. I mean, he's a 10-time All-Star. Won the MVP in 84, 314, 19 home runs, 84 RBI. He was in the MVP race a bunch. I mean, he was in it. He was in a top 4 guy 3 other times. Yeah, he's a stud, just a total stud. Played massive career. I was unaware of this. Actually started in Philly before coming to the Cubs. It was with the Cubs from 82 to 97, all the way through. And do you think about the mid 80s for Chicago? To have the 85 Bears, the 84 Cubs, and then draft Michael Jordan.
That's
not
run.
bad. Yeah, they haven't had anything in the vicinity of that in a long time. And I think Mike will be able to give a great perspective on this because of growing up in Chicago as a White Sox fan. And I saw Obama's statement today about it, that even White Sox fans had great amount of respect for Ryne Sandberg. I'm guessing Mike would echo that this afternoon when he talks about it. And I'm guessing that this will be something that is very, very much in his wheelhouse, growing up his age and growing up where he did and what Sandberg kind of meant. So, yeah, this has been a tough week. it's been a tough last 7 to 10 days for that generation, to say the least. So rest in peace to Rhino. And again, I'm not kidding you. I know for sure 4 buddies of mine named their kids Ryne, and I can't imagine how popular that name is in Chicago. I mean, it's got to be just everywhere. Just a massive presence and a huge part. And it's interesting, all of those things that you kind of mentioned with the exception of Ozzy, but so much of that was cable TV. I mean, the Cosby Show was on broadcast TV with Theo Huxtable, but the Hulkster was USA and Saturday Night's Main Event and all of that. Like, it was a time when you watched what was on and there wasn't much on. And so you had 18 channels and this is what you watched. And so if you want to watch baseball in the summer, you watch the Cubs on WGN or you watch the Braves on Turner. And that's kind of the way that it went. So rest in peace to an absolute baseball legend. Way too young at the age of just 65. I'm going to need one of you to explain to me what the hell is going on up in Cleveland with that baseball team.
What happened?
Because it feels like there's a lot. We're going to get to that story coming up next. We're off and running on a Tuesday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gehanna said, "We cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did."
I got a review too. Listen to this. These windows were great. Oh boy. For about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason, my windows way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a HitTrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just 2 guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said. And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10 TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
I love my public school. My teachers are awesome. And everyone who works here makes sure I have what I need to learn and be my best. My classmates and I need your support too. Please stand with the Ohio Education Association to ask for the fully funded public schools every kid deserves.
Ohio's public schools are the heart of our communities. They're safe, welcoming learning environments where everyone can thrive.
Because in Ohio, public education matters.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see partly to mostly sunny skies today, but another hot and humid day ahead with the heat advisory in place. Afternoon highs getting into the low 90s, but our feels like will approach 100 degrees in many spots. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 70s and light winds. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Just 2 days away now. This Thursday through Saturday, The Fan is live from Buckeye Fall Camp. We're hitting the practice field for exclusive wall-to-wall coverage. The Buckeyes kick off the season. Catch Morning Juice, T-Bone and Tyvis, and, of course, us, all live, 6 a.m. to noon, Thursday and Friday. Listen to The Fan and watch the show streaming on The Fan's YouTube and 10 TV Plus. It's fall camp. It's Ohio State football, and it's only on The Fan. Go Bucks. This will be sweet. I mean, you're going to be able to basically give – the way that we're kind of set up, you don't have like a complete clear view of it, but there's enough that you can see that you get a pretty good idea of what it's all about. Going to have some great guests. Going to be a lot of fun. So look forward to that on Thursday when we are live out at Buckeye Camp. Okay, Emmanuel Clase did what? Go ahead, Reese.
Well, he's being accused, and Major League Baseball is investigating gambling activity related to his performance. Basically, what had happened was a couple months ago, Luis Ortiz, who's a reliever for the Guardians, was put on administrative leave, paid leave, as he was being investigated for irregular betting activity when he goes out in relief. And so what baseball looks at is they go through all of the sports betting agencies. I don't know how many. I don't know if you've heard, but there are like 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
And they report to Major League Baseball some suspicious betting activity when Luis Ortiz went out to pitch. And then video sleuths and baseball itself found a couple of appearances that Luis Ortiz made where he just threw the ball into the ground. And they said that's suspicious. So we're going to put you on leave as we continue to investigate. Through their investigation, they found similar stuff about Emmanuel Clase. And some video sleuths yesterday. It's on social media if you want to find it. There's about 11 pitches where it's the first pitch of Clase's relief, and they're in the dirt, they're outside, and they tracked those pitches with activity that they found to be odd in terms of betting on Emmanuel Clase. And so he is also placed on administrative leave they're both now through July 31st. It's going to go through August. No, it's through August 31st now. And Clase, who is supposed to be a major trade chip for the Guardians, now will not be moved and may not play baseball for the foreseeable future.
Well, this Bob Nightingale line that you guys put in the prep here is, I mean, this is a hammer.
It's bad.
It was during MLB's, this Bob, who we've had on before, good friend of the program, USA Today. It was during MLB's investigation with Luis Ortiz when Clase's name suddenly surfaced. He was not under investigation at the time. Ortiz was forced to take a leave of absence. Now, 3 weeks later, Clase is also under investigation for potentially gambling on games in which he performed, facing a lifetime ban if found guilty. You know, guys, what this seems like to me, and where there's this much smoke, there's a little fire, feels like, just throwing, it feels like that. This feels like an incredible failure of an intelligence test. Yeah. Because if you think you're going to get away with this now, in this day and age, I mean, this ain't the Black Sox, and even they got caught. Like, this ain't Pete Rose, and he got caught. Like, you bet on your phone. It's hard for me to see a scenario where if something like this, just look at the way, I mean, this is being combed through and looked over like the Zapruder film. Every pitch, like, it's all there. The idea that you're going to get away with this, and now what I don't know is if in the case of Ohtani, if you can just blame it all on the interpreter and then he takes the fall for you. I don't know. That worked out pretty well.
So Ohtani did have, this was to the benefit of Shohei, the FBI and the IRS both kind of corroborated his story.
Yeah.
So that helps him. I know there's a lot of people that are like, why didn't Ohtani get placed on leave? Well, I don't think the season had actually begun yet. So you didn't really have to do anything. And you had federal agencies reporting that, no, it was Ohtani's interpreter. This is Major League Baseball doing the investigation. There's no governmental oversight in any of this.
So it's very interesting, like Reese, like you mentioned, all this started with 2 pitches. There were 2 pitches that Luis Ortiz...
And they were really bad.
They were really bad when you go back and look at them. But there were 2 pitches that Luis Ortiz had, Bo. It was back-to-back starts, I believe, for him. One was to start the third inning, and one was to start the second inning. And there was an unusual amount of activity on those pitches, betting-wise. And the one pitch was about a foot and a half outside, and the other one bounced in the dirt and was outside. And then that's what started all of this. And then they start looking into Clase, and we haven't really heard what was going on, but I saw it was interesting. Jensen Lewis retweeted some baseball stats tweet where Emmanuel Clase, they do like a StatCast waste pitch, basically. Okay. And they said 17.5% of his first pitches this season have technically been waste pitches where they were just nowhere close to the strike zone. And that's something Clase has never really had a problem with. He's one of the best pinpoint location pitchers in baseball. Like, he's very good at hitting his spots. So it definitely seems very, very weird.
Okay, so I've never bet on baseball. Just never have. Bet on football, historically bet on basketball, NCAA tournament, bet on golf, those type of things. I've done that in my past. I've never bet on baseball. What can you bet, like the result of the first pitch?
Yeah, like you can
ball
bet,
or a strike.
You can bet if this is going to be an out, if it's going to be a strikeout, if this is going to be a hit
in real time.
Yeah, all of it.
Wow.
And my kind of fear with this is that, you know, because Ortiz and Clase were such good friends, I know baseball, or Major League Baseball, told the Guardians yesterday, and the Guardians said as much in a statement, that there's nobody else within the organization that's being investigated. Like, easy for me to be cynical if that's the truth. I don't know why Major League Baseball would say anything right now until they had, like for Clase, it was 11 pitches. For Ortiz, it was 2 pitches that they used as evidence of there needs to be an investigation here, put both players on paid administrative leave until the investigation can be completed. How much more there is to this, because one's a bit of a problem, 2, I think, becomes a pattern. And then I look to Stephen Vogt and I go, when this was being investigated back in April, what did you know?
Yeah, how deep did it go?
Because Terry Francona got booted from Boston for chicken and beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zach Meisel, who's kind of a one-man beat up there, who had a tweeted this out yesterday. It's not even trusting me. MLB literally went out of the way to tell the Guardians no one else was involved. And I know that there's been some other people who have tweeted out other things, and it's like, no, it's these 2 pitchers. That's it. That's the list. So then as this is being sorted, and none of this seems very good, what does this mean to what they are now? And then that becomes, is this now to affect like what they do with Stephen Kwan? Are they now sellers? And, it's not been a good last few days for them anyway. Do they kind of change what they are now? And is this a contributor to it?
I don't think so. They're certainly nobody's going to touch Clase. I don't think Ortiz was even going to be considered as a trade chip. I still don't think they move Kwan. Ramirez has a no trade. So I think if they do anything at the deadline, they're minor sellers.
I think it changes what they're going to do a little bit, because their one real trade chip, I believe, was Emmanuel Clase.
Oh, it was Clase, yeah.
Because it doesn't really make sense to trade Stephen Kwan this year. Next year, maybe you could get more for him. It would have to be a knock your socks off type deal for them to trade Stephen Kwan, I believe. But they could have traded Emmanuel Clase, got a lot back for him, and it not really hurt them because they have Cade Smith, who's kind of a guy that's been groomed and ready to go in that closer's role. So I think it definitely affects the Guardians and what we see here in the next couple of days, because now their best piece is off the board.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff. It's hard for me to see any scenario how you think you're going to get away with any of this now. And we are this has happened in my lifetime, absolutely, how we went from sports. It's kind of what we deal with all the time in college football, right? Like, for the longest time, professional sports went so far out of their way to steer clear of anything in regard to gambling. Anything. They just stayed as far away as possible, to the point of years ago, like team employees couldn't play rotisserie baseball or fantasy football, like all of that stuff. Like, you couldn't do any of that stuff. They went so far out of their way. You think about college. Remember, it was Neuheisel got in trouble for running a March Madness pool.
Yeah.
When he was at UCLA or Washington, Colorado, I can't remember where he was, but he got in trouble for that, for running a March Madness pool. And he may have actually been contributed to his firing. To now, where every one of these has a betting parlor in their, most of them have betting parlors in their stadiums, to be able to live bet from your seats. You're talking about professional sports in Las Vegas. Hell, the Big Ten held its media days in Las Vegas. Think about how hard it's used to be able to do any of this. And now it's all out in the open. And I'm sure as a player, it's at every level, it's incredibly tempting. You walk by it all the time. You got buddies who say, hey, who gets hurt? A quick buck here. Do this. Throw this one in the dirt, and I give you a cut of it. Like, it's just so tempting, and it's everywhere around them.
I would argue, though, this has been going on forever.
Of course.
And maybe this is good for baseball and these pro sports because now they can find these guys. They've got these betting websites like, hey, there's unusual activity here. You might want to look into this. Where before, when it was all underground and nobody knew it was happening, it was probably running rampant. Now maybe you'll clean it up that you got partners.
I mean, I think even Jameson Williams is facing, he's got a couple of games he's going to miss this season because he was betting on sports in Lions facilities.
He bet on sports in the Lions facility.
Like thinking they wouldn't catch him. And they caught him with like geolocators.
Walk across the street, dude.
It's like we don't have any. It's like you don't realize what you've done with that cell phone. The access that you have given to everyone, to everything personal and dear to you by turning that thing on and using it. What you've unlocked is you've given away your privacy. Is the result of it. And to not see that and to not to see how all of this is trackable is pretty wild. And I guess this is something you'll see a lot more of going forward. And I think we've filled our quota for baseball talk for the next couple of weeks, gentlemen.
I don't know. It was a pretty bad day for the league yesterday because Bryce Harper, there was that report where he told Manfred to get the hell out of our clubhouse.
I did like that.
That was great.
I did like that. Yeah. How did it go between my beloved Dodgers and your Reds last night, Bake? How'd that go?
Well, the Dodgers won, but Chase Burns struck out 10. We'll talk about that a little later.
Oh, will we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Will we?
All right. Austin Ward said something yesterday that made a lot of sense, and the more I think about it, I think the Big Ten ought to really consider this. 9 conference games? What about 12? We'll get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Irish Adventure awaits at the Dublin Irish Festival August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food, and fun. Enjoy unique Irish experiences as you explore one of the top festivals in the US. Drawing over 90,000 guests to Dublin, Ohio each year. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Tuesday. We are 2 days away from the start of Buckeye Camp, and of course we will be there to paint those pictures for you of what is happening those first couple of days at Ohio State. Camp football right around the corner, obviously. Austin was on yesterday, as he is every single Monday, and we were talking a little bit about Petiti and the Big Ten coaches, and the thing that jumped out, and we're going to get to his big proposal and something that I think makes a lot of sense. But the thing that really struck me listening to the coaches at Big Ten Media Days in Las Vegas last week was how they were almost robotic in their messaging of, we're playing 9 games and the SEC needs to play 9 too, and it's not fair that we play 9 conference games and you don't. There was, of course, there's no nuance to the conversation, so there's nothing that says, well, they play 8, but for example, South Carolina plays Clemson every year, and Florida plays Florida State every year, and Miami most years. There's no mention of those type of things. It's just 8 conference games versus 9. And my answer to that has typically been, well, you can play 9 conference games. The reason they went to that to begin with, and by the way, it was their idea to do that, was for inventory, is what it did. And they did it to try to have more meaningful television shows, inventory, from their teams. So instead of 8 games that were conference games you could kind of lean on, there became 9. But I was talking to Austin yesterday, and he mentioned that the Big Ten should go entirely conference games. And I thought, boy, if anybody could do it, the Big Ten could. They absolutely could. This league, the way that it's set up, is a pretty good blend of top-heavy teams that can contend with anybody in the country. You got the last 2 national champions. You got 4 or 5 programs in this league that can go toe-to-toe with any in the country in terms of historical significance, national championship probability, NIL money behind them, ability to recruit. In the NCAA video game, they have like 4.5 5-star programs. Ohio State's a 5-star program. Michigan's a 5-star program. Penn State's a 4.5. Oregon's a 4.5. I mean, these are on par. USC's a 4. These are all on par with the best, with the Texases, the Alabamas, the Notre Dames. I mean, these are marquee Cadillac programs. The Big Ten also has a pretty healthy middle. They've got a bunch of teams that are plucky little teams that every once in a while can make a little bit of noise, but also aren't delusional in what they are the way that some of the SEC middle is. There are teams in the middle of the SEC that believe they're entitled to win national championships. Nobody at Iowa believes they're entitled to win national championships. They're perfectly happy winning 9 games, sometimes 10, sometimes 11, most of the time 8 or 7. They're fine with that. They're happy in the middle. And then the Big Ten has a bottom that's pretty robust of programs that, by and large, are bad. Now, to do this, I do think you would need some further expansion. I think you'd probably want to get to 24, and you'd probably want to have 2 divisions. An East and a West would obviously make the most sense in order to fill out the schedule. I don't know if I would want this at Ohio State, because one thing that I love about the way Ohio State schedules is that you play Texas, and you play Alabama, and you play Georgia, and Tennessee has been on the schedule. Oklahoma, obviously, historically, those teams have been on the schedule, and I would hate to lose that big non-conference game with an SEC or a perennial power like Notre Dame. I would hate to lose that, but at the same time, this league is kind of set up for this pretty perfectly. And then you could have, I think, the conversation that Tony Petiti's having, where last week he was such a big proponent of, we thought it was going to be Sankey who said 9-3, our 9-3 is better than your 10-2. Petiti said, hold my beer. And he said, my 8-4 is better than your 9-3 because we're playing 9 conference games. I mean, that was the messaging. So if you play 12 conference games and your conference gets a little bit bigger, right now you're at 18, you need to add 6. To me, if you just added some of those West Coast teams that were in the previously known Pac-10, away you go. You could poach the ones that you want. I don't know what the 6 would be. My assumption would be that they'd want Stanford and Cal, and then what the other 4 would look like. I don't know. I don't know if you'd want the Arizonas, Utah, and Colorado. I know Nebraska would like that. I'm sure Nebraska would love to play Colorado as a conference game and be able to travel to Utah and the 2 Arizonas. Or if you'd go Washington State and Oregon State. I don't know. My hunch is you'd lean on Notre Dame pretty heavily. But if the Big Ten wants to be really bold, it's not the worst idea I've heard. And it's one that because of the way that the league is set up and the amount of teams that are in it, it's kind of doable for them to do this. There's enough bottom feeders. There's enough middle. And there's enough top heavy. It's kind of the perfect blend of what you would need to play a schedule entirely of conference games.
I'm not going to lie. I hate this. I hate this conversation. I hate that we're even having it. I hate that would mean Ohio State, Texas goes away. Yeah. I hate that means that, and I know they're not maybe competitive games, but I hate that means Ohio State, Ohio goes away, Ohio State, Toledo goes away, Ohio State, Kent State goes away. Like, I despise that. Like, if we're going to do this, just break it up into the 4 huge super conferences, throw teams in there by region, and then that's how we'll do it. Because this sounds terrible to me.
Yeah. So what are you going to your big casualty, though? Let me just push back. Your big casualty is really the out of conference game, right? It's the Texas game. Because you're not going to miss playing Ohio. You're going to miss playing Grambling.
I mean,
you're not going to miss
not
those.
Grambling. Me personally, though, I will miss the Ohio schools playing each other. I just think that's good for the state of Ohio, all in general, and it helps raise I guess it doesn't raise those boats, but at least it gives them money and helps keep their program afloat. Like I said, if we're going to do something like this, if we go like a model like this, just forget the conferences in football. Keep the conferences for everything else. Scrap them in football and just go to the regional-based big power schools all grouped together, and they all have a certain schedule. Like, we're going to play 10 teams in this group that we are, and 1 from this group, 1 from that group, something like that.
That's never going to happen, though, because they don't all row in the same direction, and we saw that last week, right? You're never going to be able Bake, I want that as much as anything.
Yeah.
I want the regionalism back in the sport. I want the Big Ten to be Midwestern teams. I want the Southeastern Conference to be Southeastern Conference teams. I wish we had a Big 8, Big 12, the way that it used to be with Oklahoma and Texas anchoring it, and the Texas schools and Nebraska. Nebraska shouldn't be in the Big 10. Nebraska should be in the Big 12. That's where it should be, right? I wish we had a Pac-12 of schools out there. I'd love to have the old Big East back with Miami and Virginia Tech. I would love that. I think this sport was at its best when it was geographically represented by many conferences specific to those geographic regions. But the adults in the room ruined it. And the individual greed of the television partners and the individual conferences wrecked it. And conference expansion, it's cooked now. We live in a world where we have Oregon. We're doing 20 Most Interesting today on Big Ten member Washington. What in the blue hell are we doing? Right? We did UCLA. Like, what the hell are we doing? I mean, it's out. So to me, this is something that I'm with you on your. I understand your grievance. I'm with you. I'm a get off my lawn guy with this stuff. This drives me nuts that these teams are in our conference. It makes the University of Cincinnati is in the same conference as Arizona State. Cal and Stanford are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. What the heck are we doing, man?
There's nothing undoing any of this. But
no,
I do,
there isn't.
From the standpoint of adding more teams to the Big Ten to put pressure on Notre Dame, to put pressure on the Southeastern Conference to try to keep up. I think more so on Notre Dame. I think less pressure on the Southeastern Conference unless you can maybe convince a North Carolina or a Duke. And you're looking at 20 teams where the SEC is still sitting there at, the same schools with nothing being added, with no... Especially if you get your 4-4-2-2-1-3 playoff model with those 4 play-in games, you get more chances for your conference if you're the Big Ten to increase the revenue. You leave the SEC behind in the money sense. That would motivate, I think, a lot more people to get to a more even footing when it comes to how many conference games each of these 2 power conferences are playing. Especially with Notre Dame, you had the news yesterday they're going to play Wake Forest in like a Duke's Mayo Classic. And, does that excite anybody?
No.
Like, whatever Notre Dame does, isn't exciting outside of playing schools in the Big Ten, playing schools in the SEC. I mean, maybe a Clemson series, but what if the Big Ten were to say, hey, Clemson, why don't you come be part of our 20?
Yeah, I think the Notre Dame part of it, and we had that story last week about North Carolina, where they're going to be up for bidding and eyeing the Southeastern Conference by the time their deal's done in 2030. We're headed for another round of this. This league is set. If they wanted to do something aggressive like this and break this into, and really, when you listen to Petiti talk last week, he talked like someone who works in professional sports. That's what he talked like. I mean, he talked like he was trying to be commissioner of the NFL. That's what he talked like. If he's trying to do that, then you could very easily set up an East versus West, Big Ten East, Pac-12 West, all under the big conference footprint, and primarily play in your own window and have some crossover games that would satisfy, I think, a lot of people. I think you could do it pretty easily.
And in hindsight, doesn't that seem like the way they should have went? The Big Ten and Pac-12 should have just merged and had an East and West.
Reverse engineering it.
Yeah.
Is kind of what we're doing. And I just think if the Pac-12 wasn't just so incompetent at the end, it could have happened. It really could have. I'm going to lay it out for you. I'm going to lay out two 12-team conferences and being able to do this, I think, pretty easily. We're going to get to that. And Jack Sawyer, not exactly pleased about what has happened during his time in the Michigan game. He goes on Cam Hayward's podcast, some direct comments on Michigan and the sign stealing his sophomore year. We'll have those for you as well. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Hey there. You hear that? Right? You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. Give Bath R Us a ring. Call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Progressive knows RV owners like to travel at a nice, relaxing pace. Just like this commercial. They're not rushing to a departure gate at the airport because they depart from their driveway. And they can relax even more knowing they're protected by Progressive. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You've seen the headlines, heard the debates.
The three-point ball has created a monotonous rhythm to the game, and others...
Has the three-pointer ruined basketball? And how did we get here?
The rise of the three-point shot can be partially traced to an eccentric Kansas genius named Martin Manley,
whose story didn't turn out quite the way he imagined.
I decided I wanted to have one of the most organized goodbyes in history.
30 for 30 podcast presents
Chasing Basketball Heaven.
Available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hey, it's your Uncle Bo here. Proud to tell you about my friends at Diamond Siller who know that forever starts with the perfect diamond. For over 78 years, their families help generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, unbeatable prices. At Diamond Siller, bigger diamonds and better prices are their promise to you. So whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts at Diamond Siller because diamonds are their forte. Visit Diamond Siller today, Sawmill Road, Easton Town Center. Learn more at diamondseller.com. All right, you guys ready? I got 2 12-team divisions. Every game's a conference game.
Legends and leaders?
No, I went with some incredible naming. You're going to love it. Some very creative naming. The Big Ten and the Pac-10, both made up of 12. All under the big conference umbrella.
Seems to make sense.
Ooh, just the big conference.
The big conference umbrella.
I like it.
It just says big.
Maybe we just
big.
Maybe we could just be the 10.
Fine, whatever. All you got, this is what you do here. And I've never understood why they didn't do this to begin with. And I'll leave this part to you. Would you rather have Colorado and Utah or Oregon State and Washington State? You'd probably want Colorado and Utah, is my guess. But I'm trying to be a traditionalist and keep the Pac-12 together.
Yeah, I kind of want the Civil War and the Apple Cup to remain.
I want those rivalries.
They still both they both will play each other. Those are just going to be earlier season games, both Oregon State and Oregon and Washington and Wazoo respectively.
Okay, so let's do some charity work here and let's bring in Oregon State and Washington State and let's leave Colorado and Utah to the Big 12. They can keep them. So all I'm doing is I'm taking Oregon State, Washington State, the 2 Arizonas, Stanford and Cal, USC, Oregon, Washington, and then I'm sending Minnesota West, and I'm sending Nebraska West. That's going to be the 12. So that should leave 12 the other way in the Big Ten, the Big East, or the Big Ten, as it were. Then you play a certain amount of teams that cross over. Maybe you play 2 or 3 crossover games with the Pac-10 every year, and that kind of rotates. But you have your set of 10 games that you play in your division every year. You play a conference championship game. If you want to do it in the Rose Bowl, you could. If you want to have a little bit of tradition back in this thing, or you could get rid of it altogether and just say we played 12 teams. You pick the best 4 from here. However you want to do it. I never understood why they didn't think this way to begin with and just take the entire Pac-12 and just make a 12 Just make an entire division out there. And I know that the pushback was, well, there wasn't much value in Washington State and Oregon State from a TV standpoint. You got to remember how stupid these people are. They didn't think there was value. Don't think that these are the smartest people ever. They're not. They didn't think there was value in Oregon. Think about that. They were drug kicking and screaming to take Oregon. Oregon is playing in this league at a discount. These people are not the smartest people in the room always. They've done dumb stuff over and over again. This is a league and its television partners that thought there was value in Rutgers and Maryland. Like, what are we doing? Like, don't make them think that they're the smartest people in the room. They're not. They get stuff wrong all the time. They got Rutgers and Maryland wrong. And anybody with any sense would say that all these years later, that there was no value in Rutgers or Maryland.
I might have been naive in thinking it.
Got that New York market, though, on the Big Ten
had to get the New York market. Like, what
Reese
would
playing a deep cut, the naive line. That's a deep cut.
What would that commercial look like if New York didn't pop out of the East Coast part of the Big Ten? Like, they start in Hollywood. You got to end with the Big Apple.
Can't you just see the Big Apple from Penn State? If you get high enough on Mount Nittany?
You can only see valleys and hills.
Just get on the top of Mount
Maybe
Nittany.
what they would consider mountains. Yeah.
I saw last weekend that everyone's like, oh, well, Penn State wanted Rutgers and Maryland. I don't know. Maybe they did. I know that Penn State was not really thrilled with everything the Big Ten was doing, and we've talked about that before with our buddy Rich Scarcella. But doesn't that seem like a fit? That, to me, you could do that. There's enough cupcakes. There's enough guaranteed wins that are in that conference based on the bottom of it, the dregs of it, and you could still have some regionalism. And by the way, it'd work really good for the non-revenue sports, too, to not have to travel all the time, all the way across the country.
Yeah, that's something you desperately, I think, need to regionalize, is all the other sports. Because this can't be a thing where USC and UCLA are coming over to Columbus to do swimming and diving.
No.
How much pressure do you think in your scenario? Because I understand the idea. How much pressure do you realistically think it would put on the SEC?
None.
Because I don't think the SEC
I don't think
cares.
they care.
They don't give a rip. They're like, we're doing what we're doing. Forget all.
They're
going
to stay at 8 conference games. Are they going to add? Are they going to add anybody? Because my thought
They'll
with
add
this
North
was
Carolina and probably one more. If Carolina wants to come, they'll take them. And then it comes to, do you Florida State or Clemson?
My guess is
I've always said Miami. To me, I think they'd want Miami over Florida State and Clemson. I just think it's a region that they're not in right now. They're not in South Florida. So that would be my guess is the one that they would want. But I know they would want North Carolina.
Because if you take 2 from the ACC, aren't you blowing up that conference as well?
Well, if you leave the rest of them, you're probably not.
Do they have Maryland back?
That's what I was thinking. If we're going to do this, can we subtract Maryland and Rutgers?
The money's too good. No school's going to willingly go.
North Carolina and Notre Dame.
We always talk about like the notion of like relegation.
Why not?
Like why are we forever tied
That's
to Indiana?
The one thing I want more than anything with this college football landscape to change. Like after the secession, and then you have relegation and promotion. And you make schools that are just uninterested in actually being serious about this start to take a considerate approach into fielding a serious football team.
Well, that's always the part that's really tricky about this is if you were going to have a real big boy conversation about super conferences, you'd have to look in the eye of several of these, not many, but a handful of these Big Ten teams and say, yeah, you're not this. You're not in this. I'm sorry. It's been a good 100+ years, but we're good. We're going to go in a different direction here now. So that's the thing. If you really did the super conference thing, that's the way that you would look. The point here, though, I think that makes this is not very plausible, but the thing that to me would make sense if they wanted to be bold is there are enough bottom feeder guaranteed wins in that 24-team conference that playing an all-conference schedule would be fine. It would be fine. Some of these teams, You could build them in. It would be more than fine. All right. We'll make it part of the real truth. Jack Sawyer with some direct comments on Michigan and sign stealing that happened during his sophomore year. We will get to that, among other things, in the real truth coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Cash, moolah, greenbacks, toast, Skrilla, chips, bread and mold, cheddar, butter, lewd and scratch. Find the lettuce, make a match. Lettuce, gravy, game on the back for $30. That's a wrap. There's many words for cash, no doubt, but there's only one $30 cash word. Check it out. Cash word from Ohio, lottery. It's $30, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions of prizes, don't you know? Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and admission regulations. Play responsibly.
It's the summer event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and Rich has unbeatable offers. Lease a sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $329 a month, or finance it with 3.99% APR. Or upgrade to adventure with the 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Leases starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Drive into summer with style, comfort, and confidence. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for details.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. Now, I'm not Bryson, a mad scientist, but that sounds good. It's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. But from personal experience, lose 75 pounds like me, and it's next level distance. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, especially on the back nine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180 degree weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
CME wants to beat your bike or boat loan rate by 1.5% APR. Enjoy no payments for 90 days, low rates, and terms up to 84 months. Take the summer off and ride easy with CME. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 6.25% APR. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Central Ohio contractors and homeowners. Tired of overpriced, low-quality cabinets? Well, it's time to upgrade your cabinet game. 3D Cabinetry is your go-to for fast, hassle-free service and cabinets you can trust from order to install. 3D Cabinetry delivers fully assembled all-wood affordable cabinets. No delays, no stress. Just quality craftsmanship delivered on time every time. Get started with your free consultation today at 3dcabinetry.net. That's 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability and reliability.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You ever get decision paralysis, like figuring out what to watch or what to eat? Well, the same applies if you're hiring. It can be overwhelming to have too many candidates to sort through. But with ZipRecruiter, you can proactively find the best ones quickly. How? Through their innovative resume database. ZipRecruiter's resume database uses advanced filtering to quickly hone in on top candidates for your roles. See someone who stands out? You can unlock their contact info instantly. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Baseball's trade deadline is Thursday at 6 p.m. I can almost guarantee the Guardians will not move Emmanuel Clase between now and then. Cleveland's all-star closer was placed on paid leave yesterday as MLB is investigating whether he placed bets on games he pitched in this season. Clase is the second Guardian to be suspended as Luis Ortiz was placed on leave earlier this month. Both are out through at least August 31st. On the field last night, the Rockies beat the Guardians 8-6 in Cleveland in game one of a three-game set. Both teams back at it tonight at 6:40. As for the Reds, Cincinnati dropped the first game in a series with the LA Dodgers last night 5-2. Both teams will go at the Great American Ballpark tonight at 7:10. You can hear Reds baseball on The Fan following the Buckeye Show. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today and every day at roosterswings.com.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Tuesday. Time for that real truth. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Cellar. Over 76 years of experience and guaranteed lowest prices on Sawmill Road or diamondcellar.com.
All right, is the way to do this to say Jack Sawyer has a point on the Michigan sign sealing his sophomore year? Is that the real truth? Would that be the way to do this and then to play it?
Phrase that one more time.
I think that works.
Jack Sawyer on the Not Just Football podcast with Cam Hayward and his friend Hayden Walsh has a point on the Michigan sign sealing from his sophomore year.
How much did the sign sealing do you think really played? Like, do you think it was
I'll tell you this. I think they beat us straight up last year, obviously, and the year before. But my sophomore year, we left the field and we were like, this feels weird.
Was it
you know
weird?
what I mean? Like, it was weird. Like, we lost, by double digits, and it felt like we had beat the out of them all game. You know what I mean? And was it home or away? It was at home, too. And I remember, we were in a screen pass that we had never put in. Not the formation, not the look, anything. And, you see them on the sideline, they're doing it. And we change it. We audible do it or whatever, and when we run it, all the D linemen, as soon as the ball is snapped, the linebackers, everybody, forward, right to the tight end. We ran a tight end screen, and they sniffed it out. We ran a tight end screen. Yeah, good scouting. We ran a tight end screen from the 25-yard line going in, and they snuff it out on first and second.
Just know the person on the field, man. That's just good scouting.
My God.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
Good scouting. Good scouting. Yeah, right. My gosh.
It was good scouting. Come on.
Is that the real truth?
It is, and it's, if you remember, this is Cade Stover used this example as well. Remember from a couple of years ago with our buddy Landry Locker?
Yeah.
He used this exact same play as one we've never run, we've never audibled to it, and they were there. You know what else is the real truth? Can you imagine? I mean, this is the crime of all of this. Thank God Ohio State won the national title. Because can you imagine if that group didn't, and they had that sign stealing thing hanging over their legacy, and they didn't have the national championships, the panacea. I mean, this would have been. I just can't imagine how bitter they still are, and deservedly so. And that's why everybody wants the pound of flesh. A pound of flesh I don't think you're ever going to get. But the reality is, if you don't win the national title, my God, how bitter are you?
I will say one thing that he said that sure doesn't seem like the real truth to me. I didn't feel like Ohio State was beating the crap out of them in that game from what I remember.
3 years ago?
No, I was frustrated as hell, I'm sure, and angry as could be, but I sure didn't get that feeling. I don't know how it felt to them, obviously, so I can't say what it felt like to Jack Sawyer, but I know watching it didn't feel like that to me.
But I wonder if watching it didn't feel that way because they knew everything that was coming. I mean, that's the part you can't. I just remember feeling like a reckoning was coming. It felt like a reckoning was coming, and that team was so good with CJ. CJ went 31 of 48 for 349 and a couple of touchdowns. You know what it struck me was, it's interesting, you always view things through an offensive perspective. What I remember is the gash runs. I remember Donovan Edwards just breaking free over and over again. They had, oh my God, it's even worse than we imagined. They had a 69-yard pass from McCarthy to Cornelius Johnson, a 75-yard pass from McCarthy to Cornelius Johnson. It's all chunk plays. Holston Loveland, 45 yards from McCarthy. And then they have a Donovan Edwards run of 75 yards and a Donovan Edwards runs of 85 yards. They had 5 plays in that game, 45 or more.
Donovan Edwards looked like Biaka Batuka in that game.
Didn't he go undrafted? Yeah, he had 22 for 216. Gross. McCarthy completed 50% of his passes, 12 of 24 for 263. It's the gash plays. Boy, that's a tough one.
Yeah, Edwards went undrafted in 2025, but he is signed to the New York Jets.
Yeah, life came at him pretty quick from the cover of the NCAA video game to undrafted.
Major League Baseball will not play a full season in 2027. Is that the real truth?
I'll lean on you. I'll lean on you guys. I have no idea. The thing that I like Bryce Harper throwing Manfred out of the clubhouse. I thought that was good. I don't know what the beef would be. Like, where I'll ask you, what is the beef? Why wouldn't they play a full season? It feels to me like every player in that sport is being compensated absurdly richly. What is the beef?
Lockout.
Oh, owners
want a salary cap.
Hey, dummies, stop paying them then.
Well,
you're the ones giving them the money. Stop giving out $700 million contracts.
And so Manfred is trying to go around the players' union and just talk to the players directly. Hence why he would be in the Philadelphia Phillies locker or their clubhouse.
I got you.
Hence why you would have Bryce Harper going up and say, get the bleep out of here.
I'm guessing the Dodgers and the Yankees aren't on board with that.
No. Why would they want
a salary cap?
No.
Now, a salary floor would fix things, but the CBA is up in December 2026. And
I don't know. I don't think you need a cap. I think you need what Reese just said. I think you need the floor, right? That's
yes, but owners would never go for that.
No. So, because they like their money as much as anybody. And this, I don't know. Do you think like true parity would help baseball? Has true parity, I mean, you think about the other sports other than football, has true parity helped the NBA? They make it so punitive to keep your own players. Like, has it helped the league to have a bunch of different champions over the last 10 years after having, a 30-year run where the Lakers, the Celtics, the Bulls, and the Spurs kind of won all of them? Does that, which is better?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, yes, I think it would, but that is because I am a fan of the Cleveland Guardians, who would benefit greatly from a cap and a floor. But to your point about the dynastic runs by those teams you mentioned over, a smattering of Toronto Raptors, Oklahoma City Thunder champions, what would be better for the league? It probably leans more towards the dynasties from a national perspective.
Yeah, I'm a little torn on it because I think like the Yankees and the Dodgers, and we talk about it all the time on this program, we want to see greatness, especially in the end. And I feel like those teams are good. And then I also feel like when you get a team like the Guardians that makes it, or the Miami Marlins those couple times, or the formerly known Oakland Athletics the few times they made it and stuff, it makes that more special. And you get that David versus Goliath feel. So I don't know if parity is better. I mean, but then you look at the NFL, and parity has made the NFL king. I know it's a different bird, it's a different sport, but
I almost think like you have to leave the NFL out of any conversation about what to do in sports.
Especially if you're talking NBA, MLB, NHL. Those have to be completely separate.
Yeah, because, I mean, the second most popular sport in this country is college football, and it has an absolute class system that's been that way for 100 years. It's really hard to break in. You know, if you think about the most popular sport in the world, it's soccer, and you want to talk about have and have-nots. I mean, it's the same, unless you get like a Man City where you get Qatari money or you get PSG with money from Dubai or wherever. I could have those two mixed up. You get the point. Unless you have that, it's pretty much for 150 years, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Liverpool. It's the same 6 or 7 over and over, unless you get a nouveau rich thing where somebody's throwing a lot of money at it. So I don't know if a salary cap would help baseball at large, but it would certainly help your guys' two teams if they were on an even footing. But then they would also have, and a floor, because they would have to spend too. You have to do both.
Yeah, where are you going to go?
But therefore,
I don't know how you do that. This is why this damn thing is so complicated. I don't know how you do that, because you're talking about 162 games. You're talking about individual television partnerships with the regionals. Like what the Dodgers got from Time Warner, now Spectrum, what the Yankees get from Yes, what the Mets get from, what is it, Sportsnet New York or whatever? Mm-hmm. How the hell does that compare to... It doesn't, is the answer. So unless you went to the Yankees and the Lakers, or the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Red Sox and the Mets and said, yeah, we're sharing all of your regional money into one big pot and then we're splitting it. But who would want to do that? It's too many regional games. I just don't think you can do it.
You're saying the Reds aren't getting as much as the Yankees from Bally Sportsnet?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly what he's saying.
Can you imagine going to the Steinbrenners and saying, like, they would probably be thrilled. They'd probably be thrilled. You can't spend more than this. And so they're thinking in their minds, oh, so the rest of it we just get to keep as profit? We're just going to keep it. Man. I think in this sport, the floor is more important than the cap.
Yes. That is the real truth. One more real quick. 9 for 9 throwing the football is a pretty good day at practice. Is that the real truth?
Yeah. Who did that?
I think it was Shador yesterday. We talking training camp numbers?
I was there. I saw him do it. We'll get into that. We'll get into that coming up. Good job out of you, Reese. We'll get into that coming up next. I forgot we're actually charting every throw that these guys makes. Someone is, yeah. So we'll have a little fun with that. I will tell you this. Shador can throw the football. He can throw the football. And the injury to Pickett opened some things up. We'll get to that story coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Get your air conditioner ready to go for warmer temperatures ahead with Logan AC and Heat Services. Right now, service calls are just $79. Tune-ups are also $79. Talk to one of our service technicians about how you can improve your home comfort. Online scheduling is easy and takes just minutes. So visit our website and book your appointment now. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Save a good deal more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves, including new breakfast favorites all season long. Meyer brand syrup, pancake mix, and instant oatmeal are all just $1.79 each. Plus, students will enjoy the well-packed backpack good life with back-to-school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer brand 24-count crayons, Meyer brand 70-sheet notebooks, and Crayola Classic Colors markers. Shopping for breakfast essentials and back-to-school supplies is a good deal better at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
1-800-GOT-JUNK does two things differently.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
So the donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
Your neighbors are happy, and the planet is healthy.
What's number two?
We have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is the world's largest junk removal service.
And that's good for your neighbors and for the planet.
And for you, because we can come the day you call us.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of four, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
The Dublin Irish Festival, August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food and fun. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See, we didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Hey, Ohio! Don't wait! The Ohio State Fair is here now through Sunday, August 3rd. Experience fair favorites like the butter cow, livestock animals, shopping, delicious food, exciting entertainment, thrilling rides, competitions, and so much more. Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair through August 3rd. Get your tickets at ohiostatefair.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see partly to mostly sunny skies today, but another hot and humid day ahead with the heat advisory in place. Afternoon highs getting into the low 90s, but our feels like will approach 100 degrees in many spots. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 70s and light winds. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
1, 2, 3. Here at the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And we are proudly sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Yesterday, the Browns had their first practice in pads. They did so without Kenny Pickett. Before the practice started, Kevin Stefanski had his media availability, and quarterback was obviously a very hot topic of discussion. Let's start with Stefanski on the Pickett injury.
It happened at the end of practice there a couple days ago. Felt something, so we'll just treat it. You know, for any player, you're disappointed when you can't be out there with any injury, but he'll be fine. He'll rehab. He'll get back out very quickly.
Did you have a?
I don't have a timeline. With something like this, we'll see how it goes. But his mindset, my mindset, will just go day to day.
Did he have an MRI on it or anything?
Yes.
Did Billy tear or anything?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into specifics on the injuries other than to tell you he's going to do everything in his power to get back ASAP.
Okay, so if you were Kevin Stefanski and the guy who's, certainly the front runner to be the starter is going to miss a couple of days. And let's just say for the sake of this conversation that he's going to miss kind of this section of practices. So they practiced Monday, they'll practice today, and then they'll practice Wednesday morning, and then they're off Thursday before a practice again on Friday. So let's just say for the sake of this conversation, he's going to miss the 3 practices, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, have the day Thursday, and then be back on Friday. They have joint practices next week in Carolina. With all of that being said, how would you divvy up these precious reps in this practice?
Flacco gets half. The other half gets split 25%. Dillon, 25% Shedeur. I really wanted to come on and be like, give it all to Shedeur. But I think realistically, you give half to Flacco.
So maybe I'm just naive in this, but I don't think Flacco needs much, quite frankly. Even if you're going to roll him out there as your starter week 1, he knows this offense. Maybe he needs to know these receivers a little better because, last time he was here, he had Amari Cooper. Obviously, it's Jerry Jeudy and who knows who else at this point, but he's got Njoku probably actually had his best run of play ever with Flacco as the quarterback. Yeah. And you got Harold Fannin Jr. At that tight end spot. So I don't know how much you need to give Flacco. Maybe give Flacco 20%. And let Dillon and Shedeur split the rest?
So Flacco got most of it. Dillon got a little, and Shedeur got nothing with the ones. Shedeur really didn't get too many reps yesterday. I mean, you were referencing the 9-for-9 stat line.
Wait a minute,
yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, I was told.
Yeah, Chops with ESPN Cleveland is doing that, and there is obviously no context to it, and he's having fun with it, but it's gone, it's been on ESPN, like everyone's quoting it, and there's no context to it. So like the 9 out of 9, could that be in individuals? Could that be in, it's not all 11 on 11, and it certainly isn't all, it's certainly not all, none of it was with the ones. So I was like you, Bake. Like, I don't even know that Flacco needs 25%. I would almost say give him the first 2 in every rep and then let the other guys fight it out. But that's not what they did. They went primarily Joe. Dillon got a couple, and then Shedeur got reps, but they were primarily with 2s and 3s. Was the reps that Shedeur got.
Which I think is important because you asked the question, if I was Kevin Stefanski.
Right.
Eric Reeser would be giving Flacco like no reps almost.
Yeah.
And I would have the rookies with a ball. I'd split it evenly. 50-50 split with the ones because I want to see what these guys can do. No interest right now in seeing Joe Flacco run this offense. But if you're Kevin Stefanski trying to get your offense ready to go week 1 against the Bengals, it would make the most sense from that perspective to give Flacco the bulk.
He is coaching on 2 parallel planes. He is coaching on, I am a head coach in the National Football League, and my job is to win games, and our first 6 games are absolutely brutal. And if I'm speaking in his head, I am not putting a rookie in that spot to get bludgeoned early. We're not going to break these guys. So on one parallel line, there's that, and that's the Pickett-Flacco line. Is that on the other parallel line is, could one of these other 2 guys be a lottery ticket? And really, the only one of the 2 who could be a true lottery ticket is Shedeur. It's him. He throws a stunningly beautiful ball. He can layer it over cover. He made a throw yesterday in practice where the pressure, it was such a big improvement for him because, and I was actually watching with the great Bernie Kosar, and we were like, whoa, as the pocket kind of, all the pressure kind of came around the edges. And at Colorado, he would drift in the pocket, drift, because he's on the run all the time. So he'd drift in the pocket. So yesterday in Cleveland, he stepped into the pocket. Okay. So the pressure's coming around the edge. Instead of drifting, he stepped up in the pocket. He climbed the pocket. And then he made a throw that it has left his hands. I thought, he's just throwing it away. And I think most of the people on the defense thought he was just throwing it away. And he dropped it in a bucket in the back of the end zone for a toe tap touchdown. And everyone was like, okay, you can make that throw? It's probably a 35, 38-yard touchdown pass where he stepped into the pocket and just dropped it over Cam Mitchell's. And Cam Mitchell's a pro. He just dropped it right over him for a touchdown in the back of the end zone. He had another touchdown later in practice. He's just a gamer. He's just really natural. He looks good throwing it. Now, he does some things that you can't do. Like they ran an out earlier in practice, and he missed on the inside instead of on the outside. So that's a pick six. In the NFL, that's more times than not, that's going to be a pick six. If you're going to miss outside. But I think that they are trying. I think they're aware that he's a lottery ticket, and I think they just want to make sure that they do everything in their power to put him in the best position to succeed. And he's coming along in terms of not just what happens in the practice field, but he's basically having to learn an entirely new language on how to play quarterback in the league. But I'm just telling you, just as an observer, when you watch him and Dylan has some stuff that his size is a little problematic. As it would be. He gets lost. Like when the defensive line comes up around him, he kind of gets swallowed and you lose him in the pocket. And if I can't see him, then he can't see out either. So in order to get away with that, he's going to have to be incredibly anticipatory in his throws. He's going to have to throw it well before the cut is made, the break is made. He's going to have to know that if this pressure comes from here, I've got to put the ball exactly here, and he's got to trust that his receivers are there because he's not able. There's no way he's able to see it. I mean, DeJuan Jones is 6'8". Like you just can't. I mean, he's got a foot on him, so you just can't do it. Now, when they move the pocket, and Dylan had some nice moments yesterday too. He had one where he stepped up and I want to say he hit Fannin. They kind of ran a deep shot, and then Fannin kind of settled down in a little pocket and he hit him. Pretty sure it was Fannin, but he had moments too. And that's the thing is you've got essentially two lottery tickets here and you just want to put them in the best position to succeed. But if you're just saying, other than Flacco, who quite honestly, I think he could hop off the couch and at age 55, throw a beautiful deep ball. Other than he hit one to Judy yesterday that you could hear it pop. And you thought, God, to still have that type of arm velocity at that age is just an unbelievable gift to still be able to do that. But Shedeur throws a stunning ball. He's incredibly accurate. And there's going to get more and more. They're giving him very purposely very little early, but everything that they give him, he gobbles up. So that would be a sign, very positive, I would think, from a Browns fan's perspective.
So I think it's interesting, Bo, with everything you've just said about this. And this is just me speaking here. And I obviously am not up there and around it like you are. To me, if the Browns are picking in the top 5 again next year with their pick, I feel like that's really bad news for Stefanski and Barry. So that, to me, makes it baffling because, and I believe what you say, that, like, they look at Pickett kind of like they do Shedeur and Dylan is like a lottery picket. He's close to their age. He's a younger guy. That all makes it baffling to me that Pickett is even in consideration for the starting job because I feel like this regime needs to win as many games as they possibly can. And I feel like I don't think there's any doubt that your best path to that for the Cleveland Browns this year is Joe Flacco being the starter, at least day one. For the first half of the season. Now, maybe one of those young guys develops and then they take him over and show they're better. But that's why this whole thing is so crazy and baffling to me with what the Browns are supposedly doing here.
You're also rooting, and it's a decent spot to be in for the Jacksonville Jaguars to be really bad.
Sure.
Because that could be your top 5 pick.
This is what I think. This is you have to know at the end of this season if Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel are the quarterback of the future or if they are not. You cannot go into that draft next year with ambiguity at the position. Either we're drafting a quarterback or we're not. And to me, the only one that looks to me like they could be that is Shedeur. Could be that. He has the talent for it. I mean, he was a consensus top 35 prospect in the draft. So he's got the talent for it. He's got the arm talent for it. Can the rest of the stuff click? That's the thing that I think will be very interesting here over the next couple of weeks. We had a very good day yesterday. Tuesdays with Tiberi in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car to
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Let me ask you something. Is your money doing everything it can for you?
I don't know. How would I know?
Is it automatically saving for special events and keeping you posted on its progress? Like at Huntington Bank?
Oh, no.
Is it tracking your spending so you can make the best choices at the mall?
Nope.
Or setting limits on your teenager's debit card?
Definitely not.
Then it could certainly be doing more.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready for college for complete terms.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Tiberi.
Oh, baby. What are you up to on a Tuesday? We're 2 days from camp, buddy.
You know, let me tell you something.
You
smell it in the air, don't you? Everywhere I go, people are like, you know, they're getting jacked. And you guys are going to be broadcasting there Thursday and Friday.
Visit us?
You want to stay with me?
Yeah.
You can stay in my house.
I'm staying.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You and the dog. You can be the dog whisperer.
Well, you remember how well that worked?
Oh, it went well.
I whipped her into shape very quickly.
Very good. Yeah, we put a diaper on her.
We did put a diaper on a dog.
God.
That happened.
So anyways, this is great. And, you know, my take tonight.
No, you got a take.
Well, yeah,
do you already know what it is?
Yeah, I'm writing it right now. But, you know, Tiberi's take every night at 11, I just say whatever I think.
I like that.
And everybody, everywhere I go, hey, Dom, you know, I was down in Washington Courthouse over the weekend, and everybody, who's going to be the starting quarterback? What are you hearing?
Sure.
Is it Julian? And everyone thinks it's Julian saying, and I don't know that. I don't know who the starter, and to be honest with you, Bo, I don't think Ryne at this point, I think he has an idea, but he recruited both of these guys. They're highly talented, and I think they could win with either one of them. And I don't think...
loved, you know this, and I know this. I mean, and I know he's talked to you about this. Like, before Sand became a possibility, they loved Keenholz.
Yes.
Loved him.
Dual threat, and I was with the guy on the Buckeye Cruise, and he got on, and you know, there's a little Tom Brady-esque about him. He looks, you know, good-looking kid, but he put on 25 pounds of muscle. I mean, this guy passes the look test from just an athlete standpoint, and you know, the thing is, you know, he's mobile. But saying that, release both these guys. I mean, they could both. Do you think we can agree they could win with either one of them?
Yeah, I think what I think is so fascinating about this from the Ohio State perspective is the upbringing and the development, the gestation period of these two quarterbacks couldn't be more different. Right. You know, Sand was identified very early as special. The Southern California quarterback machine, Bryce Young. There's so many of these guys that have come through that. They identify him early, and then they go play at Big State U and become stars. And honestly, I tell people that Sand reminds me of Bryce Young is what he reminds me of.
Right.
But that's another conversation. Meantime, Lincoln was just like Lincoln grew up kind of the way that people in my part of the country grew up. Right, great athlete, plays every sport. He was the best baseball player.
Got a connection to Joe Germain, right?
Best football player. Like, he kind of was just the best athlete, one of the best athletes the state of South Dakota's ever produced.
Right.
And so he wasn't probably doing all of the quarterback stuff that Julian was. So the fact that they're both here, both incredibly talented, I'm with you. They could win with both, but the way they got here, the paths couldn't be more different.
Right. And I don't know. It's going to be fun. I know this. Starting Thursday, once they get some pads on and everything, I believe Coach Day is going to turn the heat up like we've never seen in camp on the quarterbacks. Now, he's not going to hurt them or whatever, but they're going to put them through the heat to see who can step up, because unlike years past, Ohio State's not opening with, Youngstown State or Ohio University. Mm-hmm. Texas is coming in here, so they've got to know. And I think, I don't know. In years past, you've gone into it where did we really have a starter? When we've seen this, I think it's important that he needs to name a starter, maybe like a week out, 2 weeks out before the Texas game, so everybody's on board with who that is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think young guy, and you want him to get all the reps. Like, you got to get. This is the old days of like Woody, when you had like 3-a-days,
right,
and 7 hours of practices. Like, you don't get that.
No.
You get the time that you get. You got to take full advantage of it, and to be ready for Texas, you're going to need. Yeah, you need all the reps. So I'm with you. Now, he's usually like 2 weeks into camp, even on the ones that are obvious, like CJ, where we had a competition. Like, he's usually a couple of weeks into camp. I can't remember. I think Howard was named maybe a little sooner than normal. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. That I do think he's got to be pretty quick in getting this done.
Just to rally the troops and to give that guy, whoever he goes with, the confidence. The other thing is, you look at what they've got. They're going to be playing catch. Whoever it is, Jeremiah Smith is going to help a rookie quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Carnell Tate's going to help a rookie quarterback. These receivers are going to help a rookie quarterback. And, you talk to Tom Brady, you talk any of the great ones, the receivers, when you have elite receivers, it makes a quarterback look pretty good.
Yeah. Where are you on the humidity?
Good Lord. I'm going to tell you what. I think we're in the tropics right now. Last night, I had to run into Costco and buy some paper towels and some things. And
Wait. How many things did you ran in there for paper towel? How much did you come out with?
$149 later, I came out of Costco.
They're under than $300. I don't even know. I go in there. I'm like, I just need a couple of things, and then I come out and I got a 64 pack of beef jerky.
Well, last night I had to buy. They got a 7,000 aluminum flashlight. I had to get it.
Come on,
7,000 aluminum. I think you can shine a light at the moon.
Man, when did they get that thing in?
I don't know. It's only $50.
Do you love it there?
Yeah, I love all that kind of stuff. I
love Costco. My wife won't go. She won't go.
I'll tell you another hidden gem. Ollie's, good stuff,
cheap. I don't know what Ollie's is.
You do or don't?
I don't.
Yeah, you don't have them up there.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Yeah. You just said get good stuff cheap. That's that's the logo.
That's it. They play that song. You go in there and they're playing that song. Good stuff, Jim. Bank's in there laughing. He knows half his clothes came from there. Got good stuff cheap.
They got this old guy who's like the Ollie's Army. This guy looks like Einstein. This is great.
Yeah, I'm telling you, got to check it out. It's yeah. No,
I'll be dinged.
But I like flea markets too.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever go to those?
No, I'm not doing that.
Just driving along the side of the road and
no. I like the Amish country, like those old stores they have there. Yeah. They have like the toys I played with as a kid.
Yeah.
I like that. I haven't been there in like a decade, but the last time I drove through there, I remember like going through a couple of those and finding some cool stuff.
Yeah,
a little bit of cool things.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I love everything, and I heard what you were saying about playing. Yeah, I agree. Play each other in the conference, all this other stuff. I'll tell you the one thing I'm irked about, just the smugness. And I understand that they've won. Congratulations to that team up north. But the smugness that's coming out, It irritates me because you know what? I'm waiting for the hammer to drop, and I don't think it's going to drop. It's not going to drop. And everybody, and to me, it's here's how you can fix what we saw happen. Hit them in today's world with the NIL world. Hit them where it hurts. $50 million fine, and then divide it amongst the Big Ten. And I guarantee you that nonsense would stop. Look, Bo, I'm the first guy to admit. You know, the old saying goes, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
Sure.
But anyways, they took it to a different level.
Yeah.
A different level. That was like so over the top. My goodness. I mean, it was extensive. And then the walk away, we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, right. I think that, you know, like Buckeye fans want their pound of flesh. I'm sure the players want the pound of flesh. I just don't think it's coming.
No.
When you have Tony Petitti basically saying, hey, we've done enough to them already. And the reason he did that is because his television partners are saying, man, you can't neuter Michigan. Michigan has to be good. We have to play people in Big Noon other than Ohio State.
I know.
And Ohio State and Michigan. So you can't have them fall off of a cliff. I've said for the longest time, to me, and that's the number I've used, is the $50 million. Hit them with that.
Yeah.
And that's probably as good as it's going to get because you want that program, the Big Ten, more importantly, its television partners, really need Michigan to continue to be relevant and good.
Yeah, but I think that is the punishment. I never agreed with we're going to take scholarships away, or we're not going to let them play in bowl games for 3. Why punish the current kids? The guys that should be punished, 90% of them are gone now. Yeah. And here's what you do: you fine the athletic program $50 million. Divide it amongst the rest of the Big Ten schools, and I guarantee you that's going to get their attention, especially when you have to pay your athletes today.
All right. So today's take will be on the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think it's wide open, and anyone that walks around saying, "Oh, yeah, Julian's saying," Julian's great. Don't get me wrong, but they're sleeping on Lincoln Kienholz. Remember one thing: Ryan Day brought both these guys here for a reason.
He likes them both.
He likes them both. And like I said, Lincoln was on the Buckeye Cruise with Ryan Day, and that kid is an athlete. You're absolutely right about that. I mean,
he hit home runs.
Oh my gosh!
Last weekend,
yes,
weekends ago,
the guy is an athlete.
Jeez.
So, anyways, but I'm looking forward to seeing you Thursday. It'll be great, and we'll hang out.
All right, look forward to it. We'll see. I'll see you on Thursday, buddy. There he goes. Little Tuesdays with Tiberi on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because we know in making the most of your home, DIY doesn't just stand for do it yourself. It also means dream it yourself. And we're here to help protect the dreams you're building. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, Private Selection 80% lean Angus ground beef chuck in 1-pound packages is $5.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
The sun is out and the savings are on at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Take up to $7,000 off MSRP on any new Kia EV in stock, or get up to $3,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing for 60 months. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 for 1,000 finance. All manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Dealer financing required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 7/31/25.
Delaware County Veteran Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of Veteran County Veteran Service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veteran Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veteran Services.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fans YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Burb's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Tuesday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
On Monday, 11 Warriors reported that Ohio State men's basketball will host Ohio University for a preseason exhibition game on Wednesday, October 15th. The report adds that fans will be able to attend this game. Buckeyes and the Bobcats have only played 4 times in history. Ohio's only win in the series came on the dreadful 94-95 season when the Bobcats upset the Buckeyes in Columbus 78-67. Thing or not a thing?
This is a really awesome thing. I did not realize they've only played that sparingly. I do think as one thing I've always wanted from the Ohio basketball program, and Thad wasn't great at this. Holtman came around a little bit. Hopefully Jake comes around even more. But I'd play them all. I'd play Cincinnati. I'd play Dayton. I'd play Xavier. I would play all of those teams, and I'd love playing Ohio too. I mean, it's such a great program. Bowles has been down there and done a great job for a long time. The key to this whole thing, though, I think for me is fans can go. Like, that's a good job. Like, if you're jonesing for some hoops, go. By the way, this would be my advice for Jake and Ross and everybody around the program. Charge like $5 to get in, or $4 to get in. Like, get them in. Don't no 26. No. Hell, don't charge them anything. Or $5. I mean, like $5 at the door, or a can of food to a shelter, whatever. Like, come up with a way to get people in there and get them excited about your program. Don't gouge on this. Don't charge for this, or if you do, charge very minimally.
$5, $10, all goes to the basketball collective.
Fine.
I'm all for that. This is a huge thing. And, Bo, I'm like you. I can't believe that they've only played 4 times. Like basketball, where there's so many games a year, they've only played 4 times. That is a shame. And, hey, while we're talking about this, why don't we start up that Ohio tournament? Let's have it every year. Cincinnati, Dayton, Xavier, Ohio State, OU, Miami, Kent State. Let's have it like a little 8-team tournament every year. It'd be so fun. I don't
been
get
really
it.
good. Toledo's had years. It'd be very easy to do it. And I think that there was you guys could maybe speak to this better than me, but the feeling I always got that Ohio State's approach was like, what do we have to gain by playing these guys? And my view of it is, but what do you really have to lose?
Exactly.
Like, is anybody really going to come at you? Oh, you lost to Akron, and shame on you. You got to close the program. I just think we're past that now. And you're going to win most of them. I mean, you just are. So to me, I don't know. It seems like a layup.
Yeah, anybody that would want to clown anybody for losing to a really good MAC team, I just don't think knows ball.
They don't. No, I would agree.
Plus, we're going to expand the tournament to 76
or 85 teams
Who
in.
cares? You almost got in at 17 and 15.
We're all tournament teams now. Congratulations, everybody.
Just disgusted by it.
I'm so disgusted by it.
On Monday, Men's Health put a slimmed-down Luka Doncic on the cover with a story about how he got into shape this summer while training in Croatia. The 26-year-old Doncic told Men's Health he is stuck to a gluten-free, low-sugar diet that includes intermittent fasting and high levels of protein, at least 250 grams of that a day.
Wow.
Luka adds, quote, fat shaming works, end quote. The Lakers are going to be able to offer Doncic a 4-year, $222 million extension at the end of this week, according to ESPN's Bobby Marks. Thing or not a thing?
He looks great. He really looks great. He looks like, you remember when LeBron first went to Miami and he dropped, he never had like the way, Luka looked kind of chubby at times. LeBron never had that, but when he went to Miami, it went to like another level fitness wise, and he just became more sinewy. That's what Luka looks like to me. The only thing I'm curious about is, you don't want him to get too thin, because a lot of his game is his physicality. Like, he leans on you a lot. I'm guessing this will help on the defensive side. He'll be more fleet-footed. But at the same time, offensively, where he's made his hay and he's going to earn that $222 million he's going to get, he uses his weight to kind of lean on defenders a lot. So I think that's the thing that's going to be kind of tricky, is you don't want to lose too much of it. But he looks great. And my guess is it'll help only with everything in his game.
I mean, good for him, if this is what he wants to do. And who knows if the Lakers had something to do with this, or if the way the Mavs treated him on the way out the door has lit a fire under him and he wants to be the best person he can be. But he was already great the way he was. Like, I'll never understand, like, oh, gosh, look at Patrick Mahomes, how doughy he is. Well, yeah, he's the best in the world at what he does. Who cares? Like, as long as you perform, who cares? And I know there were some injury concerns with Luka. I don't know if any of that had to do with his weight and his conditioning or whatnot. But if there's one guy I'm rooting for, it's Luka. Like, I hate that the Mavericks ended up with Cooper Flagg and they've got a decent roster, because I want Luka to dominate the NBA for years. I don't know if that's with the Lakers or whoever, but I want him to dominate for years and the Mavericks to suck because of the way that all went down.
That's crazy how they ended up with Flagg, wasn't it?
It's a tinfoil hat, right? Because then they're going to Vegas. So you take Cooper Flagg to Vegas, and it all works out for everybody. Again, tinfoil hat. It was a losing effort last night to Bo's Los Angeles Dodgers, but Baker's Reds rookie righty Chase Burns had a strong outing against Los Angeles. He gave up just 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings work. He struck out 10. In that effort, he joined some pretty elite company with most consecutive outings with 10-plus strikeouts at the age of 22 or younger since 1893. The only players since 1893 that have more than 3 games with 10-plus strikeouts before they turn 23, Bob Feller, Al Downing, and Dwight Gooden. Bob Feller had 4 in 1938. Al Downing had 4 in 1963. Dwight Gooden, 5 in 1984. Thing or not a thing?
Well, and the other names on this list, Fernando Valenzuela, Vida Blue, Walter Johnson, Oliver Perez. I remember that when he kind of was shot out of a cannon. anytime you're on those, your name is on that list, it's a thing for sure. Here's what I don't know about it, and this is where I'll lean on my Reds friend, brethren here, Mr. Bake. Was this somebody that they saw coming? Is he a prized prospect, or is he a guy that's... You tell me on that, because then I'll know how much of a thing it is.
So he was the number 2 pick in the draft last season. Okay. So the middle of last year, so not this past June, but the June before, he was the number 2 pick in the draft. He had been at Wake Forest, so they had scouted him a lot when they drafted Rhett Lauder with the 7th pick the year before that. Then he transferred to Tennessee for his senior season and was lights out. And yeah, he ended up coming up this year maybe a little faster than they wanted him to because of the Hunter Green injury probably. But he was lights out in the minor leagues, and he has been... he's struggled a little bit when teams are attacking him early in the count. It seems like they are hitting him, but his stuff is electric. And, man, the Reds right now are in a good spot moving forward with their pitching. With Hunter Green, if they can ever get him healthy. Andrew Abbott was an all-star this year. Nick Lodolo has been fantastic, maybe their best pitcher this season at times. They traded for Brady Singer. He had a great outing the other day. Chase Burns, they are loaded with some good young arms for the future that they could move for pieces or whatnot. Just the second Red to ever have 3 games with 10-plus strikeouts in a row. So, I mean, yeah, he's a guy that they knew were coming, and they expected him to be here probably later this year than he is now, but he's been pitching pretty well.
I think that's great. Great news. All right, good stuff there. 20 Most Interesting continues. We are way out west. The Washington Huskies, Big Ten powerhouse. The Huskies and the voice of the Huskies, fan alum Tony Castricone, going to join us at 11:30. What makes them one of our 20 most interesting coming up next? Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify. It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. That's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards on every swing. But from experience, lose 75 pounds like I did, and now we're talking next level distance, consistency, and even mood, especially on the back nine. And actually, every pound you drop takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. So I lost 300 pounds of pressure off of mine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey there. You hear that? Right. You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced...
My debit card.
Their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and... that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Baseball's trade deadline is Thursday at 6 o'clock. The Cincinnati Reds right now are 2 games out of an NL wildcard spot. Redlegs fell to the Dodgers 5-2 last night in Cincinnati. It was the first of a 3-game set. Both teams are back at Great American Ballpark tonight at 7:10. You can hear that game on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. As for the Guardians, Cleveland lost to Colorado last night 8-6. Both teams go again Tuesday at 6:40. On Monday, Major League Baseball put Emmanuel Clase on paid leave for his alleged participation in betting on his performances in games this season. Clase is on leave through August 31st. Some good news for the Guardians. Shane Bieber will have a rehab start today in Akron for the Rubber Ducks. In soccer, the Columbus Crew begin Leagues Cup play tonight, hosting Liga MX Club Toluca at 7 o'clock. This update sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Tuesday. Tony Castricone, Fan alum, voice of the Washington Huskies, going to join us in 28 minutes. 20 Most Interesting continues now. Hit it, fellas.
There are millions of college football teams around the world, but only a handful of them made our cut. Bishop and Friends present the 20 Most Interesting College Football Programs.
The Washington Huskies on the list this year, just 6-7 a year ago, just 4-5 in Big Ten play. Jed Fish is your head coach there. He's in his second season in Seattle. This is what makes them interesting to me. Number one, the Big Ten really needs them to be what Kalen DeBoer was building them to be. I know they feel like Jed Fish can get that going back in the right direction in very, very short order. It's a hell of a sliding doors moment. The Nick Saban retirement and the dominoes that fell because of it. You think about this roster with McLaughlin and Downs and Sayan, all coming over from Alabama. You think about that exodus. But it also, so that was, subtraction from the Alabama roster that happened, big-time players that was subtracted from the Alabama roster. But then in terms of Washington, they took their guy. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer leaves Washington for any other job. It was a short list of jobs that he's going to leave Washington for. You remember, he was beating Dan Lanning that last year. I had Michael Penix Jr. on the top of my Heisman ballot. I'm not sure where you had him, Reese, but I had him number 1. He was unbelievable.
No, he was tops on mine, too. I mean, I had Jaden Daniels under it because through like 2 months of the season, Daniels didn't play a single meaningful game of football. Penix played in a lot of meaningful football, and he was great all throughout that regular season and the Pac-12 championship game.
He was. They beat Oregon twice that year at Washington, and they played for a national title. They obviously came up short, but they were right there. Like, think about that. The two teams that the Big Ten didn't really want and took at discount, one of them played for the national title 2 years ago, and the other one spent most of last season ranked number 1 in the country. And the Big Ten didn't want either one. So it is critical that those two programs get, Oregon's already there, that Washington gets back. It cannot be dismissed how far Seattle is from the rest of this league. It can't be. It's a real one. I'm fascinated to talk to Tony to hear how it went for them just traveling, because he's the basketball play-by-play guy too. And you think about just what that grind was like flying across the country. But it is, in my view, if this league is going to stay where it is and continue to have bites at the apple at the top of the sport, it's critical that Oregon is what they are, but that Washington gets back to what they were. They were pretty aggressive portaling. Recruiting is a challenging one. Have either of you guys been to Seattle?
Never.
Never? Yeah.
Me neither.
My uncle lived there. They were an incredibly glamorous program when I was a kid, and won a national championship in the early 90s with Don James, Steve Entman on that defense, kind of anchoring that. They had another run with Rick Neuheisel in the 2000s with Marcus Tuiasosopo, where you could have made an argument that maybe they deserved a bit of a share of the national title, I want to say in 2000. That maybe there was a little bit of a conversation for that maybe they should have deserved a little bit. But they've been a quality, big-time program for a long time. The campus is stunning. The stadium is stunning. The only thing that they don't have in their favor is a direct proximity to talent. But in this day and age, when the world has gotten so much smaller, I think if you get the right coach there, and I don't know if Jedd Fisch is the right coach. He was really good at Arizona when they hired him away. But if the right coach is there, there is no reason that they are not in the vicinity of Oregon and right there with USC as a real chess piece out west for this conference. They come here, obviously, and so we're going to get a look at them here in our building for the first time. And I know that we went out there years ago, and we've had some one-off with them before, but you're going to get a very good look at them. And so we'll see kind of what they're all about. They have some key returners at quarterback and Damon Williams Jr. He's in the mix there. Didn't they have the kid from Mississippi State transfer in last year?
Will Rogers?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
He was there last year as well.
Bo, by the way, we head out there this year. They're not coming here.
Sorry.
We go to them.
My bad.
And they were as bad as they were last year. They were really good at home. They didn't lose a game at home last year.
Good correction out of you. Bad job out of me. Yeah, so that's one where that could be an interesting one, and that is a massive, massive home field advantage that they have out there. That's the end of September we go out there. That's a fun month, man. To open with Texas and then to have Grambling and Ohio to kind of work the kinks out and then go travel out to Seattle to play Washington, which will be a massive game for the folks out there to welcome the Buckeyes in to the mix. So, yeah, you look at their schedule, big picture-wise, they open with Colorado State, then UC Davis. They play the Apple Cup. It's kind of a squirmy game. They play the Apple Cup on the 20th, right before they play Ohio State. So they play their rival right before they play the Buckeyes. Then at Maryland, Rutgers at home, at Michigan, Illinois at home, at Wisconsin, Purdue at home, at UCLA, then Oregon at home. They basically go home, road is their rotation once they get into Big Ten play the rest of the way. Oregon is a hated rival for them. The big question is also, like, is there a is there an NIL belief there that can keep them competitive with the Oregons and the USCs? That's kind of the key for them. And can they be one of the anchors out west, fellas, over the next 5 to 10 years? That's kind of the reason that we're talking about them now. And if Fish is the right guy, if not, they got to move off of it really quickly because you don't want to bury yourself in this league.
Yeah, Fish did bring over a handful of transfers. Like they're going to be, I think it's like 8 or 9 of their defensive starters look to be transfers, and a handful of those guys are from Arizona. So there's a lot of familiarity there. But the schedule to me feels pretty navigable. I'm glad they played the Apple Cup. I'm thrilled that they have that, because that's one of the first kind of I didn't know anything about Pac-12 schools, anything about Washington until you hear about the Apple Cup and Washington State, Wazoo, and even in the Mike Leach years, it was a ton of fun to watch. But I think it was a Jake Locker game where the Buckeyes played the Huskies, and just that stadium was gorgeous, just right on the water, and that's something I've always appreciated about that program. But you're right, they've got to do a lot of work to put themselves in a position where they're nationally relevant. Again, they've relied so heavily on the transfer portal over the past 10 years, or the past 5 years, I should say, to get them to different points. This is kind of another reset.
And Reese, you mentioned a lot of the defensive starters this year are going to be transfers in. That's because a lot of their defense left and went to North Carolina with Steve Belichick. They followed their defensive coordinator.
Forgot he was there.
Over to North Carolina. But Jedd Fisch, you talk about him. I think Arizona is a tough place to win in football. They've kind of had their ups and downs, but Fisch took them from 1-11 in his first year to 5-7 to 10-3, and then he gets the Washington job. Already a little ahead of schedule here with the 6-7. I think this is a team to watch this year. Their schedule last year was the toughest in the Big Ten. It's still pretty tough, but I don't think it's quite as tough this year for them, and it'll be interesting to see, especially with Damon Williams at quarterback, as he took over at the end of the season last year as a true freshman, and Denzel Boston is a pretty good wide receiver. It'll be interesting to see how much they can improve in year 2 with Fisch.
What's the minimum requirement for them for us as a program?
I think, to me, they need to be at least Iowa, where they're kind of in the mix every year. A few years they'll have a really good year and contend for the Big Ten championship. I think they could be like the Iowa of the West.
Yeah, 8-5, 9-4. Always competing. Maybe getting a win over USC every now and then. I mean, it feels like Washington probably. I wonder if the Washington fan feels like they should always be beating USC. They should always be beating Oregon.
They used to, right? I mean, they looked at, when I was a kid, they looked at Oregon as like a little brother. Like, they bullied Oregon around. And when I was a kid, like in the 90s, they were almost always better than USC. Always. And so, I mean, there was a time when they were a true powerhouse with Don James, and they were something not to be messed with. So it's there. It's there for them. There's a lot to recruit to. It's an awesome city. It's a beautiful campus. There's history, tradition. It's an awesome stadium. I think it's funny. I was going to go kind of where you were, Bake, with Iowa is kind of the one I was thinking. I do think their ceiling is a little bit more closer to like Penn State. I think that there's that potential there for them, that they could have that type of consistency, 9-10 wins most of the time. It all aligns, and you get a quarterback the way they did with Penix, and you go. But you need the right coach to do it. And we'll see if they have the right coach now. You're right. He was great at Arizona. Can he be great building off of what DeBoer was building already there? I mean, they played for the national title 2 years ago, for crying out loud. Like, it's still stupefying to me that the Big Ten had to be begged to take Washington and Oregon. And you think about what those two operations have been up to the last couple of years, and we're lucky to have them. I think they're both big attributes to the league. We'll hit the categories on the Huskies coming up next. Tony Castricone going to join us, the voice of the Huskies, in about 18 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today. Did you know you can donate real estate too?
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple of years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully, with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Hi, this is Bob Mashetter from Dick Mashetter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at mashetterford.net. Thanks.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
Donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
And we have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
We work to help your neighbors, the planet, and you.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Hey, Ohio, don't wait. The Ohio State Fair is here now through Sunday, August 3rd. Experience fair favorites like the butter cow, livestock animals, shopping, delicious food, exciting entertainment, thrilling rides, competitions, and so much more. Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair through August 3rd. Get your tickets at ohiostatefair.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see partly to mostly sunny skies today, but another hot and humid day ahead with the heat advisory in place. Afternoon highs getting into the low 90s, but our feels like will approach 100 degrees in many spots. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 70s and light winds. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tibus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
20 most interesting Washington Huskies. Of course, we will be out there in late September. Speaking of us, this Thursday through Saturday, the Fan is live at Buckeye Fall Camp, hitting the practice field, exclusive wall-to-wall coverage as the Buckeyes kick off the season. You can catch Morning Juice, T-Bone and Tibus, Bishop and Friends, all live 6 to noon, Thursday and Friday. Listen to The Fan and watch the show streaming live on The Fan's YouTube and 10 TV Plus. It's fall camp, kids. It's here. So Ohio State football, and it's only on The Fan. Go Bucks. All right, let's hit the categories on the Huskies. It's a great stadium. It really is. My brother leaned these guys. I kind of was kind of a Washington State guy. Kind of pulled for them a little bit. My middle brother, he preferred these guys. So lots to like about them. NIL and portal grade bake. What do you got?
I got them as a C because they brought in 16. They lost 31. But they did get some starters out of the portal. They got a couple offensive linemen, I think right guard and left tackle that will be starting for them. And as Reese mentioned, probably 7 of these guys are going to be starting on the defensive side of the ball. They also got an interesting slot receiver from Penn State and Amari Evans. You wonder if maybe the production is better in a better offensive system than what they have at Penn State. So I just give them a C. It's kind of average for me.
Yeah, to Baker's point, they get a C from me as well. But they retain Jonah Coleman. He rushed for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns last season. They kept Denzel Boston, who had about 900 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. So whenever you're able to retain those guys, who I'm sure got a lot of phone calls, as most 1,000-yard rushers in Power 4 programs would get, important to have that retention.
Yeah, it leads me to believe that they're pretty organized in terms of the funding of their NIL. That they're pretty locked in on that they were able to get Will Rogers, which is somebody that a lot of people coveted a year ago. They were able to keep their guys. They were able to be a little bit aggressive. I think it's C+ area. By the way, remember C used to be average? Like now C, like if you say a C to a kid, it's like getting an F. Like C's, you can't get a C.
Yeah, it's silly. C's get degrees. Yeah.
Let's get it. Come on, what are we doing here? Would Buddy Garrity want to run their collective grade bake?
I don't believe so. I don't think so. I don't know how well Buddy Garrity fits in Seattle. So I'm giving this a D.
Yeah, it's a D for me too. I just wonder in any of the different Buddy Garrities that have existed in pop culture over time, was he ever eating fish? Like, would he ever thrive at the fish market in Seattle, like catching one of those big fish thrown at him?
If he's had one, it's been like a fillet of fish.
Uh-huh.
Like, it ain't going to be, and he's not Catholic, he's Southern Baptist, so there's no Lent situation that you got to deal with. I'm guessing it's not a lot. It's not a lot of fish. I don't think this is as bad as, it's not as bad as some, but you can see it from there. You can see bad from here. Yeah, I think it's definitely D+, something like that. It's hard to imagine it. It definitely would be fish out of water, him up there. Campus social life grade for the Huskies.
I would think that Seattle has got to be pretty good, a pretty good town, a lot of stuff to do. So I'm going to go with a B on this one. I can't quite give it an A, but I think B. It's right there.
Yeah, I did Portland about a year ago, and I get the Pacific Northwest. Like, it's awesome. But I also wonder, living in Seattle might be a little more expensive than like your average college student can afford. It's a B because you're in some of the most gorgeous scenery that the United States has to offer, and you're not far from it. And you can train up to Vancouver. So it's got to be really cool if you're a young person in that area, but expenses and such.
Yeah, I assume they do something on the student living situation to make sure that that's all on the up and up. It's an awesome city. It's an A city. I think the only thing it does rain a lot, but it rains a lot here. So, there's a lot of gray rain. When the sun shines, it's pristine. It's perfect. It's gorgeous. I think it's an A-. The campus is stunning. The stadium's stunning. I'm guessing the social life's stunning. They do the thing with the boats. They take the boats up to the stadium and all of that. It's awesome. It's really cool. It's just a long, long ways, which is, from the rest of the country. It's just such an outpost, Reese.
Guy says in the YouTube chat, the Pacific Northwest alumni clubs for Ohio State are planning a sailgate before that Buckeye Husky game in Seattle.
Oh, that's cool.
Sailgate sounds real friggin' cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Not a lot of places you can do that.
No. Yeah, it's funny. I was actually talking to the boys, this would be a really fun game for Buckeye fan to go to. It really would. I mean, you could You could have a lot of fun out there. It's a cool town. I don't know if it lines up if there's a Seahawks game or if there's Mariners or whatever, but like that town is really set up nicely. It's very, very cool. I highly recommend it. Do they wear the right uniform grade, Bake?
So I love the uniform with the gold pants and helmet and the purple jerseys. They're white when they wear the purple pants with it, I think is pretty good. I don't really love a lot of their alternates, though. There's part of me that wants to give it an A, but I'm holding myself back. I'm going to give it a B.
Yeah, it's a B+. I mean, their regular uniforms are pretty great. The alternates get a little too much, but yeah, it's a fine college football uniform.
It's beautiful when they keep the black out of it. And I know how tempting it is. I mean, we fell victim to that too. But they've got a uniform where they wear the gold, the purple, and the gold pant. That's stunning. The color scheme is great. It's unique too. I mean, you don't see this color scheme much. Usually if it's purple, you get like the bright yellow, like the Lakers and LSU. You don't get that soft gold. But it's pretty cool. I think it's an A- uniform. I think they just wear some, to your points, I think they wear some of the alternate ones maybe a little too much, but I think their base one is pretty dang good, and I'm going to go A-. I think the color scheme's beautiful. Which player on their team would we want in scarlet and gray, if any?
So, yeah, if I have to pick one here, I think it's the running back, Jonah Coleman, to add some depth to this Ohio State running back room, some known depth at least, but outside of that, I'm not sure there's really anybody I want.
Yeah, I think Coleman's the obvious one. They have a Uiagalelei that they got to transfer in, a defensive end from Arizona that I think would add some fun depth. But for the most part, I think Ohio State's pretty good.
Yeah, Ohio State's roster is just better. I mean, he's the one, but at the same time, there's really nothing. There's nothing here that you're like, oh, we got to have that. That's a game changer.
They have a couple good corners, but Ohio State is just so stacked at that position. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they'd even play here, even in a backup role.
Yeah. All-time big man on campus, UW, which is what they call it.
So, like, the first names that popped into my head were Michael Penix, obviously, for recency bias, although, you know, he was only there a couple years. Napoleon Kaufman, how good he was in the 90s. I mean, he was just a freak of a running back. I think the right answer, though, might be Don James, the longtime head coach, but I'm going Warren Moon, the Pro Football Hall of Famer. It was just, you know, and you didn't throw the ball in college a lot back then, but gosh, Warren Moon was so damn good.
Yep, it's the obvious one, Warren Moon. Michael Penix as well. He got them to the doorstep. He got them into a national championship game, something that I don't think in my lifetime had been done for Washington.
It's hard to dispute Warren Moon. I wasn't alive for when he played there, and neither were you guys. Their defense led by Steve Entman and Lawyer Malloy in the early 90s was just
Lawyer Malloy.
Terrifying. And Entman was the number one pick in the draft. He was the number one pick in the NFL draft. He was so dominant. He went to the Colts and was really injured and never really had a chance. They've had a lot of good quarterbacks, too. They had the Heward brothers. They had Mark Brunell. They've had Marcus Tuiasosopo. They've had a bunch of those guys that have come through there in the time. They've recruited at a high level, like Reggie Williams was a 5-star receiver who was there that they had about a decade ago. They've had a lot of really talented guys. It's a really good historic program with a ton of studs that have come through it. That's why, to me, if you get the right guy there, I think that Penn State ceiling could really apply to that program if you've got the right coach. And we'll ask Tony if they do. All right, win it all, playoff, conference champ, respectable, or chump.
Real quick, Bo, was Steve Entman the guy that was like the famous Bill Polian rant at the draft? Was he part of that?
It was him, and they took Steve Entman, number one, and Quentin Coriat, who was a linebacker out of Texas A&M, number two. They had the first two picks in the draft, if memory serves, and they took Entman 1 and Coriat. So they took the defensive end D-tackle D end out of Washington, number 1. Quentin Coriat was the linebacker out of Texas A&M. They took him 2. And then Trent Dilfer fell, and that's what led Kiper to lose his mind. I don't know if it was specifically Entman or Coriat. Neither one had much of NFL careers. It just didn't really.
Yeah, I think
happen.
Empman is the one that they talk about in the rant, though, if I remembered that right.
It could be. I mean, it was those two guys went 1-2, and then they ended up with, and then Dilfer fell. And by the way, I don't know if Kuiper was right on Dilfer. Like, he was fine, but it's not like Trent Dilfer would have changed the trajectory of the Indianapolis Colts.
I think they will improve this year with year 2 under Jed Fish. I'm not sure it's going to be to the conference championship level. So I feel like this Washington team will probably be respectable this year, and I think like 8-4, maybe 9-3 isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Respectable, 8-4. Be competitive against the Buckeyes. Maybe beat Michigan. That could be fun. A win in the big house, but
yeah,
this team will take a step, I think, in the right direction with Jed Fish.
I think so too. I think 8-4, 9-3 feels like kind of the ceiling. So that's just on the outside of the playoff. But a competitor playing in a nice bowl game, and I do think that game out there for us is kind of a tricky one, with all of that travel coming off of kind of a couple of kind of downer games a month after Texas. I think that could be kind of a tricky game out there in late September. Tony Castricone is the voice of the Huskies. He is a Fan alumnus, and he will join us in 2 minutes for Perspective. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included. Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective on the Washington Huskies, and to do so, we are going to the voice of the Huskies, and a voice, if you've been around, you know this voice, certainly, Fan alumnus of the voice of the Huskies, great friend, Tony Castricone, joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Buddy, always great to hear your voice. Let's just start, you're a year into this thing, and you did the football and the basketball. How did year one in the Big Ten go for Washington?
Well, Alaska Airlines is headquartered in Seattle, and it is my favorite airline, and I've got status with them. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to use them that much because not only is there no direct flight to Lansing, but you got to connect through Chicago on whatever you can get. So, it was tough. I think I've got some memories of just, 9 a.m. kickoff at Iowa. Just seeing the puffy cheeks in the hotel lobby at 3 a.m. Pacific time when everybody's getting up. And then, Iowa just kind of pounds the ball on us. We lose that game. And then we're sitting in a gridlock trying to get, 20 miles away to the airport to get on a 4-hour flight home. Like stuff like that's real. Basketball at Penn State, where we're elated, we win the game, but then the snow starts falling and we've got to de-ice, and they get about 3/4 of the way done and run out of de-icer fluid, and it takes 45 minutes to get a new truck out, and then they de-ice, and then we fly 5.5 hours home. We were on that plane for 8.5 hours. Like, that's like going to Europe, right? So, like, that stuff happens when you're in this league. But I think all in all, it's been a thrill. I mean, you just are going into some of the best environments. Some of the best brands are coming to you. And we're seeing that the Pacific Northwest continues to be a formidable place to try to go win a college football game. Ohio State couldn't do it at Oregon. Michigan couldn't do it at Washington. And the Huskies have the second longest home winning streak in the country. So, like, all this stuff about, you know, like, does the Big Ten really need these two and all this stuff? Like, there's something about the metrics that kind of go out the window. Like, for some reason, Washington has not needed to have a top 20. Well, let's say they haven't needed to have a top 10 recruiting class to get to the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl or the national championship game. If they can be in that 15 to 20 range recruiting-wise, some of these other things that are different actually turn into advantages when the tables get turned and, like, another team has to come out here as an elite home field or a home court advantage. And I think there's a momentum here now that joining the Big Ten, now that we've got a year to adjust to, like, hey, here's what life is going to be like. Here's what fundraising needs to be like. Here's what we have to do from a mind shift standpoint. And we have to recruit the whole country, and we got to go into the Midwest. I think all that stuff is now going to start to spin upward for these two programs, and particularly at Washington, where I think they did have a really tough blow dealt to them with DeBoer leaving, and they've rebuilt in a way that, like, I think Jed has done as good of a job as anybody could have done stepping into his situation.
Yeah, Tone, I was talked about this earlier in the show, and you were probably still sleeping at that point, but I'm like, Washington played for a national title 2 years ago. Oregon spent most of the year as the number one team in the country. These two are incredible attributes to the Big Ten. Incredible. And I think the ceiling is much, much higher for Washington because we just saw them 2 years ago at DeBoer. So I guess that's the thing I'm curious about. You mentioned a lot there, but I want to go back to the fish hire a year in. What did we learn? And then the other thing, and this is the astute point, is that, and it's real, where are we on the funding that is required to play at the top of the sport? Is how much does football matter to that alumni base, and how much are they mobilized to compete at the highest level in that category?
So I really believe a lot of what Pat Shunn, our athletics director, who's a former Ohio State Buckeye, a lot of what he says about this whole space is true, which is that in an environment where NIL becomes real NIL, and if, like, that becomes a thing that we're able to make true throughout the sport, Seattle becomes a great advantage because of all the businesses, because of all the opportunity that exists up here in the city. And the fan support has been really big. Now, the fact is, like, where they are budgetarily, like, that half share in the Big Ten is showing up, right? So they have to be creative about other ways to try to make that up, but they are committing the full allotment of NIL dollars, from the athletic department to student athletes. Vast majority of that is going to football and basketball. And I think that you're going to see Washington continue to get really, really great talent. Is it going to be, again, like, there's such a fine line between perception of 5-star and then what, like, having a few 4 stars and a bunch of high 3 stars. It seems like such a big gap, but what Chris Peterson did to lay the foundation, like, when Washington went to the national championship game, that was not a team just loaded with transfers. Penix was a key transfer. Dylan Johnson, the starting running back, was a transfer, but everybody else on that team was homegrown from a bunch of consecutive recruiting classes that were in the top 15 to 16 in the country, and a lot of those guys were high 3 stars. You know, there was a 2-star that was a walk-on that ended up being drafted in the 5th round by the Bills, Adefonyo Ufoshio, linebacker. So Washington has a really great way of developing talent up here, and now you bring it back around to Jed Fish, who is as connected of a guy as there is in the sport of football across the board, like all the pro connections, all the college connections. And I think maybe one of the most true CEOs that I've ever seen of a program, because his vision has gotten stuff done behind the scenes here in a way that makes this a lot more appealing place to be. And he's just a guy that has a lot of positive energy, a lot of belief, and just no excuses. If something looks challenging, he's like, what do we have to do to get it done? And so fundraising is going to be a big part of that, but they've already done great things to the facilities to kind of overhaul those. And I think the roster, once he has the chance to really continue to build it from the high school level ground up, I think you're going to see in years 3 and 4, this is going to be a real competitor.
Yeah, and if in terms of year one, you're game under 500, but I look at this schedule now, and you got, boy, when you hit me with that travel stuff, dude, that just hits, that makes my skin crawl, like what you guys have to do with travel. It's just nuts that's the reality. But you are a away game, home game kind of rotation. By the time you play the Apple Cup on September 20th, all the way through the end of the season, it's home, road, home, road. It seems navigable to me. What does success for Washington in 2020-25 look like? And if they have that success, what are some players that we're going to need to know as on a first name basis as the season goes along?
Well, I think let's just say this. Last year, and I hate to say this in retrospect, but it's true, knowing how much we lost, knowing how thin we were on the offensive and defensive lines, last year, you look at 4 of those games, and we really weren't going to win those games going into the game. Like, it was like a less than 5% chance when you're talking about at Penn State. You know, I mean, just how tough that schedule was. This year, I see us as underdogs in a handful of these games, but it's not like 5%. Like, I look at Ohio State at home, Oregon at home. Like, Julian Sain's first big road game of his life in front of 70,000, like with Ryan Walters-led defense. Like, can we get a 20%, 25% chance of winning that game? I think so. We've got the second longest home winning streak in all of college football. The 2 most talent-laden teams on the schedule are coming to Seattle. You know, I look at the middle of that schedule as being like the defining stretch. Mm-hmm. At Michigan, home against Illinois, at Wisconsin. If you can get 2 or maybe all 3 of those, you're talking about a team that actually is going to compete for a spot in the Big Ten championship game. But, you know, how much can they separate themselves from that group in the middle of the pack? That's what I'm going to be really curious to see. Oh, you asked for names. You asked for names. Okay, so I heard that end of the last segment where you're saying, would we want anybody on this team? Here's a name for you. Edge rusher Zach Durfee is a freak. Now, he was injured a lot of last year, and he is one of the rare people that got picked on by the NCAA for transfer rules in 2023, so he didn't really play in 2023. But in 2022 at Sioux Falls, he had 11.5 sacks in 11 games. This dude is unbelievable, had a turf toe issue last year. If he has the chance to be fully healthy and can play a lot, I think he can be a wrecking ball back there. Tacario Davis was one of the best corners in the country 2 years ago at Arizona. We'll see if he can have a big bounce-back year. I think Denzel Boston is going to be one of the best wide receivers in the country. I'll tell you this, 2 years ago, there was a joke from those of us inside of the program. Who's better, Denzel Boston in practice or Rome Odunze on game day? That's how good Denzel Boston looked. I think he's ready to show that to the whole country this year. And then the most important transfer portal piece is one that I didn't hear you guys mention. Carver Willis was the number 4 offensive lineman in the transfer portal, and we got him at left tackle. And the line was just depleted last year. And for him to be the piece that we can build that offensive line around is going to be massive for quarterback Damon Williams, who is extremely athletic and exciting.
Buddy, I got to tell you, every time we have you on and we tweet that you're coming on, we end up with about 5 to 15, something like that. Can't wait to hear your voice again. It's been a long time, but it resonated, brother. It is always great hearing it. Thank you so much for your time, and look forward to seeing you at the end of September.
Yeah, I can't wait. Hope to see you guys come out. Go Dogs.
There he goes, Tony Castricone, fan, alumnus, one of the best in the business, and the voice of the Washington Huskies on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Lots to like about that program. Lots to like about it, and I'm rooting for them. I think they'd be great to have a couple of anchors out there in the Pacific Northwest for this league. I think it's a win for everybody if they can get to that level. And to me, it feels like they're right there. We'll get 3 things on a Tuesday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
This Ohio State football training camp report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Weber Grills.
Ohio State football. Training camp report.
And this report is brought to you statewide by Safe Light Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. As the work begins for the 2025 football season, on the heels of reaching the ultimate goal in college football, Ohio State and head coach Ryne talk about that it's more than just about winning games. It's more than about football. It's the principles that he and his staff will implement.
But what is the purpose at the end of the day? The purpose is to help these people reach their dreams and goals with people who also believe the same thing. Like you said, Chip Kelly, Brian Hartline, Larry Johnson, Tim Walton. Like you start going through the list of guys that we have here, they have to believe that when they're here. If they're here just to win, it's probably not the right place for them. It's not a pass-through. It's here to leave something behind when you're done.
We'll have more after this.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, flexible financing to fit your budget, and fast, friendly delivery. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. At Bob's Discount Furniture, when you find a complete dining set that seats 6 and comes with an extendable leaf for only $5.99.
Oh my Bob.
And a sofa that doubles as a chaise, and a bed, and storage like my Playscape for only $9.99.
Oh my Bob.
And a queen mattress with world-famous Bobapedic memory foam and an 18-year warranty like my Treasure for only $7.99.
Oh my Bob.
Well, there's only one thing to say. Oh my Bob. Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Light Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Light Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
As Ohio State gets ready to start their training camp later this week, recruiting is something that never ends when it comes to college football, and Ohio State certainly has excelled at it. Head coach Ryne talking about some of the important aspects of their recruiting approach.
We do it in recruiting. We start right from the jump in recruiting. And one of the things we do on our official visits is we bring them into the stadium. We take them through the skull session. We explain to them what that is. We bring them into the stadium. We talk about all the great traditions. We talk about the past. We talk about the present, and then we talk about the future. In the past, we talk about all the great players that have played before, and the great coaches that have come before, and the great teams that have come before. And they've set the standard. So there's the past, there's the present, and then there's the future. Like, who's going to be next? And that's why recruiting is so important nowadays, to make sure we're bringing in the right people who understand the tradition of Ohio State, because not everybody's from Ohio. Our foundation is Ohio and will always be Ohio, but there's so many great players across the country. We have to bring those folks in and teach them what it means and build new Buckeyes.
This is Paul Keels, and you're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We've had an incredible year, Buckeyes fans. It's time to celebrate the offseason with warmer weather, long nights, and incredible grilled food. Weber Grills has everything you need to have a winning summer. From our newest line of Spirit gas grills to our award-winning Searwood wood pellet and slate griddle grill, Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn more at Weber.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, what do we have on the poll today, fellas?
Daily Fan Poll asks, do you think Major League Baseball implementing a salary cap would be a good idea or a bad idea for the sport? 88% of you think it would be a good idea.
Only if you do the floor. Right? I mean, they have to be hand in hand. You can't... These teams aren't trying. Look at some of these rosters they're putting out there. They're not playing the same sport. You do a cap, then you got to have a floor, too. Got to have both. All right, time for three things on a Tuesday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me. If you were curious what it was like at like two-a-days for high school football in the state of Georgia and the state of Florida, just walk outside. This was it. Low to mid-90s, feels like over 100, humidity out the wazoo. My theory on it, not a scientist, although I worked with a lot of meteorologists, the amount of rain that we've taken in over the last 6 months is being boiled in the ground, and the ground is just sweating like crazy. This is what it felt like, though. This is what South Georgia feels like. This is what North Florida feels like. This is what it reminds me of, absolutely. Just brutal, just sweat lodge stuff. But this is exactly what it feels like.
My first thing, speaking of Georgia, so Hooters filed for bankruptcy a while back, and one of their iconic locations in Augusta has closed. It ceased operations about a week ago. And this past year at the Masters, I didn't know this, but John Daly parked his RV there, and I guess he's done that for a long time and stayed at that Hooters, stayed in his RV in their parking lot for however many years. This past year, he sold over $780,000 worth of merchandise out of that RV to patrons and to, I guess, just fans. But with that closure, it remains to be seen what will happen to that spot for Mr. Daly.
Wow.
Another little red yarn that I could throw in there was Hulk Hogan, his company, Real American Beer, put a bid to buy Hooters. So with his passing, that's in limbo as well. And what they wanted to do, reportedly, was buy Hooters and revamp it for a, quote, younger generation.
Mm-hmm. I love the Bo just says that tracks.
Brother.
Right on brand, right?
Come on.
My first thing, I know we can spin sometimes numbers and statistics a lot of different ways to fit our narrative, but I saw this one earlier today and I thought it was pretty good. The only two players all time to win an MVP, a home run derby, and 9+ gold gloves, Ken Griffey Jr., Ryne Sandberg. That's it. That's the list.
Man. Yeah, he was a dude. He was just an unbelievable dude. Number two for me, so we've instituted a family movie night, which is just awful because everyone just argues about what to watch. So finally, like, I put down my foot. I'm like, no, this is what we're watching. Take your phones. We're watching it. And so we settled on the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. And so we watched most of Batman Begins last night. Those are unbelievable. That is such an accomplishment. They've tried to redo Batman about a bunch of times since with Affleck and Robert Pattinson and all these things, but it just feels like there was, no matter what they do, there's nothing that's going to be as good as the 3 that he did there. They just crushed them.
There won't.
So good.
Second thing for me, Shane Bieber's getting a rehab start today in Akron. Rubber Ducks are playing Erie at 12:05. It's Tallboy Tuesday at Canal Park if you're so interested.
There you go.
But the one thing about Bieber could make this news about Clase and Luis Ortiz a little better for the Guardians is if Bieber performs well and maybe gets another rehab start, probably not before Thursday's trade deadline, the Guardians might be able to move Shane and help to really rejuvenate this restart.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing for me, to the gentleman driving a dark Audi SUV this morning on 670 East heading into town just before 7 o'clock, I owe you a couple of apologies. I'm sorry that the 2 cars in front of me and myself decided to get into the left lane to pass a slower moving vehicle. I'm also sorry that that vehicle we were passing started to speed up as we went to go around said vehicle. I apologize that we were only going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. Don't worry, my friend, though. I think you are number 1, too.
He wanted you moving faster?
Columbus
I guess
drivers.
so. He was not happy.
You were slowing him up?
I guess so. We were taking too long.
Finally, number 3 for me. I saw this morning on Outkick, and it's a reminder. I see a lot of folks headed out to Montana as you're wrapping up summer vacations. Don't worry about any of the animals. The only thing you need is bear spray. There was a woman in British Columbia. 2 bears came at her and her husband. They were on a bike ride. Bear spray took both bears out. They're just gone, like missiles. So don't worry about weaponry and all of that. Just have your bear spray and you'll be fine.
Hey, tonight there's a little party going down at Yogi's in Grandview from 6 to 8. Brandon Beam and Austin Ward are going to be holding the Buckeye Show with a $3 Coors Light draft. So if you're looking for something to do, Yogi's in Grandview. I think there's a crew match going on around that same time. So you get 2 pretty big football fans talking football, 6 to 8, Buckeye Show at Yogi's.
Final thing for me, there's a party going on right after us as well. Rothman and Ice will be joining you. They'll have Jeff Lloyd to have a little of the Browns conversation that we had earlier, Bo.
There you go. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow. Thanks for listening, buddy. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Mira, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The roof of your home protects what matters most in your life. Your family, your memories, your peace of mind. So when it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy on why she chose Newman Roofing over all the rest.
We had interviewed and talked with several other roofing companies around the city. The salesperson that came to speak with us was extremely knowledgeable, answered questions, took his time with us. We were happy to make Newman our choice.
And you'll have peace of mind knowing that on the day of the installation, we'll give you and your home the respect it deserves.
The guys arrived right on time. The crew leader came and talked with us, let us know what they were going to be doing. He was here all day with the crew. That itself was very impressive.
If you're thinking about your roofing or siding, give Newman Roofing a call today.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. Now, I'm not Bryson, a mad scientist, but that sounds good. It's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. But from personal experience, lose 75 pounds like me, and it's next level distance. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, especially on the back nine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180 degree weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated